I'm Commander Shepard, and the Unnamed Games podcast is my favorite podcast on the Citadel. Shepard out.
Hello, people of the internet, and welcome to episode 53 of the Unnamed Games podcast. It's good that you're all here. We are live again on YouTube, Twitter, and on Twitch. And with me, I have two of the usual reprobates. I have hiding behind his microphone, the man, the legend, Mr. Ratster Tweets. How are you?
I'm not here. Not here. Oh, sorry, I don't know what's come over me. 1 week off and I come back all giddy and a bit silly. Oh.
How you doing, buddy? You well?
I'm all right, mate. I'm all right. Complete difference, to the stoic legend that is at the bottom there, Mr. Thunderlips McQueen. Look at him.
Oh, there he is, mate.
Completely
How are you,
ignoring
Mr.
my
McQueen?
shenanigans.
Oh shit! Sorry. Have we started? Let me just pause the game.
He's playing Project Zomboid, I bet.
Just got to get someone safe. Yeah. Sorry. Let me just close that window. Yeah. No, I'm all yours. I'm here. Nice to be here.
Fantastic. Yeah, always the absolute pinnacle of professionalism as usual there, Mr. McQueen. This week, Mr. Phil is having a week off. However, we have
We have the steroid.
So this week, as you may have seen by the title page, there's obviously been some big news with Sony acquiring Bungie. So we're going to talk a bit about that later. And being the only person here who actually plays Destiny, we thought, you know what? I need a Destiny lore master, somebody who knows his stuff. And I'd like to introduce you to Mr. Brass Stanners. That is Lee. How are you, Lee?
I'm good. Although being introduced as the only person that still plays Destiny is a bit...
I was going to say, he introduced you as the lore master. Yeah, the lore master. He's like, the lore master. I was like, so we couldn't find one and we got Lee instead.
Yeah, pretty much.
No, thanks for joining us, Lee. It's
Cheers,
really nice
buddy.
to have you here, mate.
No worries, thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, you're welcome, mate. You're welcome. Right, so before we go any further, if you've watched the podcast before, which I know, well, usually people watching this have, we ask our guests 3 questions. So the first question is, what's your favourite game? The second is, what's your favourite movie? And the second is, what's your favourite TV show? I think we'll go with game first, and I don't think anyone's going to be surprised. What's your favourite game?
What about the fourth
Right,
question?
you
What's
will
your
be.
favourite position?
Sitting.
Position, you know, when you get really deep into it and split.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
With you.
favourite game, it's got to be Metal Gear Solid.
Come on, really?
Yeah.
First one.
Okay, right, brilliant. I thought it was going to be Destiny.
Nah.
So, Metal Gear Solid 1,
No,
the
no,
original.
no.
The OG, Metal Gear Solid then.
Yep. Metal Gear Solid 1, best game ever, man. Best game ever.
Nice.
I love
Fantastic.
And then-
Oh.
What was the
Favourite
next one?
movie?
Film?
Favourite movie, yeah.
It's got to be Back to the Future, I think.
That's a
quality choice.
solid choice. Round of applause for that choice.
yeah,
Round of
yeah.
applause for that choice. That is a...
I mean, it has everything,
I've got
doesn't
like
it?
5 or
Comedy,
10 back-
time travel, incest. I mean, what more could you want from a movie?
It's like the checklist of Alan's weekend right there.
Yeah.
Bellissimo. And your favourite TV show, Lee?
Lost.
Lost.
Oh, that's
Nice.
a controversial choice.
You got to go with the things that come into your head straight away. And
yeah,
Lost. And
yeah.
sometimes your
That's what
favourite
gets me in
doesn't have to
trouble.
be the best. It just has to be your favourite. So
Yeah.
That's very true, mate. Very true.
Well, I loved Lost when it was, and I felt so betrayed by the end that it's kind of fallen away from me.
I liked it.
I'm kind of in the same camp as Lee on this one. I think it's a bit like Game of Thrones and other series. These series become so hyped up that the expectation that these writers are going to pull something amazingly unique out of their bags is sometimes it gets to the point where it's just an impossible ask. And I think there was nothing wrong with it being, and let's face it, it's over now. Lost is well done. Limbo is absolutely. I've got no problem with that. It was the lead up to everything.
Well,
6 seasons. Was it 6 seasons of all these
6,
complex like questions and weirdness about the island? It was just awesome. You never knew what was happening from week to week. I didn't love the ending, but I also didn't hate it. I thought it was all right.
Do you know what, Al? I can completely agree with what you're saying about endings and things, and I'm not going to talk about the ending of Battlestar too much because I know Craig hasn't seen it, and I want Craig to watch it and experience it, right?
Yeah.
But there's a
Craig,
point.
watch it.
There's a couple of characters. Shut up, Lee. It's like, kick him off.
die.
Kick him the fuck off right now. Pardon my French. Don't come into Battlestar, boy. I was going to say, but the ending when that happened, there was a couple of like character arcs, which were so controversial. I was like, great, I get it, but like if you'd have been given what you wanted, you'd have probably been equally as unhappy as with what you've got. There was a no-win scenario, you know, because if it's not what you expect somehow, people like go, oh, you know, that's rubbish. And if it is what they expect, go, well, what a cop-out ending, you know? It was like it was the easy ending to
Everybody's
write.
a writer when they're watching a TV
Exactly,
series,
yeah.
and you're not sat in some writing room in Hollywood trying to produce an end for a TV show that's loved by millions of people. It's easy to sit there and go, well, that's a load of rubbish, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's
And you know, I've really gained an appreciation for the writing stuff and stuff like that when I've been listening to this Battlestar Galactica podcast, which has sort of spun me into a rewatch. And they often have the writers on as guests on the podcast and chatting about like, you know, like actually writing the show and, you know, how they come up with ideas and things like that. And it's amazing how, you know, how much thought they had about all these things. And you think, oh, you know, they were really thinking about it. And people are like, oh, I didn't think anything about this. It's like, they didn't do anything by halves on this show. It was so well planned, you know.
Have I told this story about when I went to the Comic-Con? And it's the only time I've actually been geeked out by a celebrity when I met Edward James Olmos.
Oh, mate,
just
I
stood
would
there
lose my mind.
like a deer in headlights. I mean, Jamie Bamber was there as well, but it was like I was like, so there we all, so there we all. I'm having a stroke.
One of my favourite stories I've learned from the Battlestar podcast is, you know, the big speech at the end of the first episode, the "So Say We All" bit. Yeah. That great moment where he goes off on that "So Say We All." That was entirely improvised by him on the spot.
Awesome.
And it's like when you see that scene, Craig, if you haven't seen it, when you see that scene, the big ending to the scene is he just like repeats the chant and it becomes this thing. It was just written like he said it once, and he was like, nah, and just like run with it as an actor. And it was like, what? And it's a moment of TV, and just like, wow, that was an improv. Bravo to you. That's why he's Edward James Olmos, right? That's why he's a legend.
He's in Blade Runner. I mean, he is legendary status.
Yeah.
I mean,
He's in a lot of good stuff, right? So yeah, anyway,
Right.
So sidetrack Lee's thing. Lee's
Sorry,
watching-
Lee.
Reel back
my
from that
podcast.
massive tangent.
This is what we do best, damn it. This is what we do best.
No, thanks for that, Lee. No, great ones, mate. I'm genuinely surprised about the Metal Gear Solid one. I genuinely thought you were going to say Destiny 2.
I don't know.
Joke if you think I'm going to say that. Jeez.
And anyone who picks Back to the Future as their favourite film instantly is a friend of mine as well.
Exactly, and that's what I said for mine, wasn't it? All the way back 53 episodes ago or whatever it was. So yeah,
Oh.
great stuff.
I'm in good company then.
Yeah, mate, definitely. Cool.
Well, you're in
Right,
Craig's
so-
company. Don't go too far with that.
Ow, cut me deep, man.
I'm free every
right,
weekend, Craig.
let's
Free
go.
every weekend.
come on, Craig, get it back in.
Let's go
control. Come on.
through the usual and find out what people have been up to. So I'm gonna fire it at random to people around the room, and I think it's only polite. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to the guest first. So Lee, I'm going to just ask what you've been up to, and I know there's a couple of something you've been playing, and also something you've been watching. Is there anything you'd like to talk to us about?
So, I know we're going to be talking about Reacher later, maybe, so I'll leave that. But I've been playing It Takes Two with my missus. What a
Quality.
game.
It takes
I've heard
two,
so much good things about that.
What a
baby.
game.
It takes two, baby.
Well, the urge to not
Just
sing
me
that the
and
entire time
you.
playing it is hard.
Yeah.
But it is just
Yeah.
unbelievable.
Didn't that win Game of the Year with a couple of...
I think it
think
was.
so,
It
but
was
it's
definitely
like-
nominated. It was
Yeah,
definitely
yeah.
nominated.
So many
Yeah.
people have got it in their top 5 or whatever for the year and everything.
Yeah.
It's just
Is it on Game
so
Pass
good.
or is it-
It's on
Yes.
Game Pass.
Yeah, I believe it is, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah,
Like,
I actually
recommend
played it for the first time the other day with Phil from the podcast. We'd been, what were we trying? We were trying Rainbow Six Extraction. We played one game and went, that isn't fun. I don't want to play that again. So deleted it.
I'm so sad I didn't download it.
Oh, it just was very drab and dull, in my opinion. But anyway, and I said, read through your list. What have you got? And he went through. He said, oh, It Takes Two. I was like, let me download it. We'll jump on and play it. And yeah, I think we got through maybe the first three sections or so, and it's just so dynamic and diverse. The different game styles, the animation is fantastic. The quality of the characters and the level design is stunning. It's just absolutely. It's like if Pixar made a game. It's brilliant.
all the different areas that you go to, they're like their own games within a game. It's
Yeah.
insane. The amount of detail it goes into. There'll be a mechanic that you use for one section that's never used again throughout the game.
Yeah.
That
yeah.
other games would be a whole game about that one mechanic. It's
Yeah.
brilliant.
Yeah. There's one particular point I got to where, I mean, this isn't really a spoiler, but one of you's basically picked up a hammer to hit things, and the other one picks up a nail to throw at stuff. And the nail is basically the mechanic from God of War. You throw the nail to war and then you whistle to call it back. And it's just brilliant. It's so good. You know, someone's hammering a ledge up and then you're throwing a nail in to hold it in place. I'm really blown away by it, and I can't wait to play more. I played a little bit with Josh, actually, the other day, my son. And we were playing, there's like a little mini games that you come across, isn't there, Lee? And there was like a whack-a-mole one where one of you goes into this box and you have to pop your head up to score, and the other one's on top with a hammer. You've got to hit the other one on the head to see who can win. Well, I think we played 3 games of that. It was wicked.
I think we should get some boxes and we should try that in real life.
I think so, yeah. We'll get you in
sounds
that
like
box,
fun.
Alan.
Did any of you guys ever play a game way back in the day called Sam and Max Hit the Road?
Yes. Yes,
So,
man.
do you remember there was a whack-a-mole game in Sam and Max at the Road? And if you wanted to, Max was so Sam was by the side with Max. No, Max was the road, wasn't it? And he was still by the side, and you could hit Max with a hammer. And so whenever I played the whack-a-mole game, it just divulged into me smashing the crap out of the rabbit and not playing the whack-a-mole game. And whenever
Take
I
that,
see a
rabbit.
whack-a-mole game, whenever I see a whack-a-mole game, I'm like, it's just not the same.
Yeah.
It's-
Oh, quality stuff. No, that's a wicked one, Lee. Definitely, yeah. So, definitely recommend anybody jump in and have a blast at that. What's the TV show you've been watching, Lee, as well?
So this is going to sound weird, but I saw clips of it on TikTok because I'm one of those guys. And it's Resident Alien. And it's Alan Tudyk's new show.
I saw the trailer.
I saw
for
the
that.
advert for it, yeah.
Yeah,
I saw the trailer. I saw an
really
actual advert.
interesting.
I saw an advert, not a trailer. Yeah. But yeah, sounds good.
It's like, don't get me, it's not like some crazy, amazing TV show, but to have something on in the background or just to chill and watch it like every couple of
You can't have
evenings or
worse
something,
company
it's
than
really
Alan
good.
Tudyk. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
You've got a bit of a man crush on him, haven't you, Alan?
He's awesome. And
I can understand.
he-
To be fair,
and
I can
still
understand that.
will never forgive Joss Whedon for killing him in Firefly Serenity. God damn you,
Spoiler
Whedon!
alert! Spoiler alert!
Oh, please, it's been out for years. If you haven't watched Serenity, you shouldn't be watching this podcast.
What's this thing? I'm like the wind, isn't it? Or something? I'm like a leaf.
leaf on the wind.
I'm a leaf in the wind. And I met him as well, and I got him to sign it like that. That's really
Wow.
Nice, nice.
I was going to say Tudyk as well voiced the droid in Rogue One, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
Who when that
Yeah.
droid showed up, I was like, I'm going to hate this character, and by the end of it, I was like, not the droid.
So
My
what's
favourite
your...
thing I've seen Alan Tudyk in is there's a film that's got Sandra Bullock in it. I think it's called. Oh God! It's where she goes into rehab.
I don't know that one.
Plays this like German guy in rehab, and they go like rock climbing or something, and he's just hanging there in his harness, and he goes, "Whoa, look at my package." Anyway, you can move on.
I quite like him as Steve the Pirate in Dodgeball.
Arr! Yes, I'd forgotten he was Steve the Pirate. Oh,
Yeah.
of course
We've actually
he
had
is.
a little comment come through from Ghost Nicola. Xbox One joined Bungie is good, looks Sony bad. I'm not quite sure what that means, but I don't think they're happy that...
She might be referring to the Sun article that we're talking about earlier on in the week, guys. That's what it sounds like.
Well,
Xbox
maybe.
By,
Yeah.
by Blizzard. Oh, they're evil, Sony. But I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, possibly.
Maybe we'll touch on that later.
Yeah, we'll certainly get onto it later, Nicola. So, cool, good stuff. No, thanks for that, Lee. So, I'm going to go over next to... I think I'm going to go to Ratley next. And Ratley has been waiting a very long time to play a very nice game, and he's going to give us a bit of his impressions of it, I think, aren't you, mate?
Okay, yeah, I haven't played a lot of it at the minute. 'Cause
Okay, all right.
I've got some projects on the go which are on a deadline, and I've got to
Yeah.
be painting a lot, and I'm painting slowly, so that's not good. But I have finally started a game I have been waiting to play forever, and it was one of the games of the last generation of consoles, which I was genuinely sad I never got to play. In fact, I was talking to my friend about this, and the only one that I absolutely 100% was like, not be able to play about, which the other one, I did want to play Ghost of Tsushima, but I just thought that looked great. Whereas this one, I was like, seething that I couldn't play it, which is God of War. And yeah, I'm not far into it. It's playing it on PC because it's just been released on PC, of course. I have to say, first impressions are absolutely it's a staggeringly good game. Straight off the bat, the voice acting is just it's just so good.
Boy.
Yeah, and but I did spend about
Shout out to Teal'c from Star.
yeah, I was going to say Christopher Judge really nails it. Yeah, like I did spend like a good day and a half just going, boy, everyone, because you just kind of have to, boy, silence, boy, like, things like this. So
the lady at the coffee shop was very annoyed.
Yeah, got thrown out of so many shops this week. I don't know what happened. Thoroughly enjoying it so far. Combat so far, very early stages of combat, but you can see it's got a really good system. Like the combat feels weighty and like and a lot of time with melee combat in video games, it can feel very airy and like there's no real weight to that combat. Whereas every single swipe in God of War, you're like, have it. Yeah, it really feels like you want to do some damage to them.
The feeling
like
when you call the axe back, and it hits you, it just thunk. It just
feels
so good.
Yeah. The thing about throwing the axe, I'm not the biggest fan of throwing the axe, but I always throw the axe just to recall the axe, because recalling the axe, that animation where it comes back is so cool.
Yeah.
the throwing.
Actually, a little comment here for you, Chris. Chris looks a bit like Kratos, to be honest.
Yeah, Kratos. He's been on too many beers and pies, maybe. But thank you. I'll take the compliment on that one. Yeah, boy. But no, I am enjoying it. It's I'm excited to see where it goes. I mean, like the story opens really well. Like the first boss fight was really great. And I don't mean the first monster you fight, but the first actual boss fight you have was really cool. Like, again, the story's intriguing, interesting. The characters so far are good. There's a lot going on. I just really like it. I can see why it gets raved about. Hands down. And like I say, I'm kind of gutted that I won't have much more time to play. Although I'm going away for the next couple of weekends, I will take my laptop with me and possibly indulge in a bit more God of War while I'm away. So
it's well worth doing, mate. It really is.
Oh,
it grows and expands and just becomes more and more, and you just get more abilities and more. Just so much more happens, and the characters that you meet, they're all brilliant. It's great.
I can see that 100%. There's not a single bit of it so far that I go, well, other than, like I say, the only one complaint I had was the axe throwing is a little bit airy and targeting's a little bit waffy, but that's a minor gripe, like the rest of that combat feels so good. So what if the one little axe chuck thing, which I don't use excessively, isn't great? Like, it could be better. So what? There's like so many other things about that which you can sing and praise. I'm not going to stand here and go, oh, I can't play it because the axe throwing is a bit naff. It's like everything else in that game is top tier. Forget the axe throwing. Who cares? It's like it's a minor gripe in a perfect game. So what? It's like, so I'm really enjoying that, to be fair. I'm looking forward to playing more when I get the time. Damn you, time.
Nice.
So that,
cool.
We come back to that adage of being an adult sucks. You don't have time to do it. You've got all the money to buy the things. No time to do the things.
Yeah, time poor. I'm going to come back to you again in a minute, Ratley, because I know you've got something that you've kept secret from us.
Oh, I've got a couple of things to talk about. A film and a TV series.
We'll come back in a minute then. So we're going to ping back over to Alan, and Alan's got. It's a spoiler alert. He's not going to talk about Project Zomboid. So if you're on the podcast purely to hear about that, then I'm afraid.
Joking.
Oh no, I'm sorry, guys.
I'm quitting. I'm done.
No,
see you later.
Now that you mention it, I have actually been playing quite a lot of Project Zomboid this week. I've got to the point where I've actually my last character, which was called Fatima Whitbread, actually lived for 2.5 months, and I got my record zombie kills of 1150, and then she got bitten when I was breaking into a shed, and she's now a zombie. So I'm see, when you pick names for characters in video games, I generally tend to veer on the side of like fantasy ones, but I decided a little while ago playing Project Zomboid that I was going to start naming them after like famous people, if like an Olympic gold medalist like Fatima, depending on if the name comes up in the random name generator on the game. If it doesn't, I just pick one. But I wanted to save the real big hitters for last, and I've gone out on a limb. I've gone up to the next difficulty level because I feel like I've got better of the game, and I've now got me Keanu Reeves. Where's that music coming from?
It's a bit of music just to kind of really get us in the mood.
Right, okay. But what I have, what the other game I've been playing is completely different. It's got no zombie. No, actually, it's got zombies in it. It's Dying Light 2. Now, obviously, I've talked about this previously. I was very excited for its release, and then it was delayed. And there was lots of bad rumours going around about Techland and the atmosphere and the culture in the studio and stuff like that. And the game has finally been released. released on Friday. Was it Thursday or Friday?
Friday,
You were
yeah.
you're playing it at the minute. But it's first impressions. I mean, I've been playing 3.5 hours. An hour and a half of that was with Craig this afternoon. So, like most games, they can take a little bit of time to cook, a little bit of time to get into some of the better abilities and stuff like that. So it really is first impressions from me. I like it, but I know what it is. Actually I'm watching this Twitch streamer who plays Project Zomboid, so when I'm not playing Project Zomboid, I'm watching Project Zomboid. So, because I'm not addicted at all.
Crippling life addiction, no.
A lot of people in that Twitch chat were very much like, oh, Dying Light, that's a load of rubbish, it's not like this. There couldn't be any more different as games. Yeah, Project Zomboid is an isometric survival zombie game. Dying Light is an action game. And its skeleton is basically an Ubisoft game. Yeah, so I've been quite down about Ubisoft games recently because I've been feeling like they haven't been changing, they haven't been evolving. They just add on an extra coat of paint, and they do. Now, I did read some reviews about Far Cry 6, and they were saying the combat was really good fun, more in a vein of Just Cause, and that's good news. But I still felt like it's like go to an area, tick the box, tick the box, tick the box, and then you go to the next area and do the same, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. And I have to be the first to admit that when you look at the outside of Dying Light 2, it very much looks like that. You go in, you get into the open world after doing the initial sort of on-rails mission and taking you from A to B, and you look out of the world, and it looks pretty. It's certainly not the most attractive game in the world. It's not. You're not going to look at it and go, "Oh my God!" There were moments with the first one, but it isn't. It's nice. It looks very pretty.
Just clarifying, this is on Xbox, not on PC, isn't
Yes.
it? On Xbox Series X.
Yeah, exactly, Series X. So then I get out to the open world, and the first thing I see is this looks very, very like Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, a lot of the areas. But then I start to play a little bit and start to do some of the side quests and stuff like that and try and see what is out there. And I've started to see there are some really, really interesting dynamics with the game. And the day and night cycle is definitely something that really lends itself to some of the activities that you do within the game that make it really exciting. So just to put this into perspective, in the first game of Dying Light 2, and I think I've told this story before, when I first played the first Dying Light and I put it on, you know what happens at night? The volatiles come out, right? And they're absolutely scary as crap. So I'm out the first night and I'm playing it and it starts to get dark and I can't get back to my base in time. I spent half an hour of my actual life waiting for the night time to pass while hiding in a bush by an underpass as volatiles walked past because I was too scared to go anywhere. That's the atmosphere that it created. But ultimately, when you've played it for a couple of 100 hours, you're just like, yeah, it don't matter, does it? You just die and you just run.
When you've got an uber powerful weapon that does fire and lightning damage, and
exactly, and it just becomes more of an inconvenience nighttime because you end up running from the volatiles all the time. So you end up just going to a bed when it gets to like 6 o'clock and sleeping till morning because it's just easier. There's no reason to go out at night time other than they gave you a bit of an XP boost. The first thing I've seen in Dying Light 2 is that there are actual activities that you have to do at night time. So if you if you go into like these areas at night time, all the biters and the zombies, which is what they're called, biters, they're all like in there, and the numbers are like 3, 4, 5 times more of them, and it makes it nearly impossible to go into those areas. But at night time, they all come outside to look for food, so you can go into those areas and you can actually start to explore, and that's a really interesting dynamic. It draws you out of the world. There's another sort of thing in there where there are different like specialized zombies, and one of them's called a howler, and if it sees you, it lets out shockingly by the name, a sound. But this sets in motion what they call a chase, and there are 4 levels to the chase, and you have to get to safety because all of a sudden, not the volatiles, although they do get involved, but it starts out with the middle tier zombies that are the kind of the runners from the first one, not the shamblers, but these guys will run and chase you across the rooftops, and you start up in a big chase, and you just, oh my God, you can trigger these things by your own if you want to.
It's like GTA 5 wanted level, isn't it? Yeah,
it's a bit like, get to 5 stars in a tank and and it does feel like that. And the opposite of that in daytime is, in the daytime, yes, there are still a few shamblers about in certain areas, a few buyers, but most of them are in buildings. But you still want to go in the buildings because there's things you need. So you end up creeping through the building, trying not to wake them up or stealth kill the zombies. This dynamic is absolutely fantastic. I absolutely love this about the game already. The other thing I really love about it is the parkour, and I haven't opened up much of the extra stuff. I think I've 1-2 points spent in it, and already it feels fluid and it feels fast. And most of the time I fall off a rooftop because of my own clumsiness. And I was saying to Craig earlier on, I definitely do feel like when you're on the rooftops, there's light, you can see like in the distance some UV like rescue areas and stuff like that. You fall down and you fall into the streets even in the daytime, and it can be dark, pitch black, and you can't see anything, and then you hear that "Rah!" and you're like, oh my god, and you're running like, and the atmosphere is absolutely fantastic. I don't know too much about the narrative. I know there's been a lot of negative reviews about the story. To be honest, I personally don't buy a game like this for the story. I don't buy an open world for the story. I buy an open world for the adventure and the excitement and the play, and hopefully playing with my friends. And we had a bit of a test of the co-op, didn't we, today? I'll talk about that in a second. But the story so far has been all right. Nothing to, and I know that most people.
It's a little bit B-movie, some of the acting, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
It's a zombie game, like
Exactly,
Yeah, it kind of fits, you know.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not exactly going to, you're not going to watch it and go, my God, that so awesome. Yeah. It's not. It's all right, serviceable. The characters I've met so far have been nice. Hakon seems like a decent dude, and everything's fine. But I am, as I said, very early days. And I know a lot of the reviewers have said it's about halfway through, it starts to tail off and it meanders a bit and everything else. We'll wait and see. But like I said, I'm not really there for the story. I'm there for the parkour.
Parkour.
Thank you. And for the combat with my friends. Now, I remember Dying Light 1, the multiplayer on that was fantastic. You could literally set it so that your friends can join, and your friends, and I used to play with Jules a lot on that, and he would literally just come online and just jump into my game and start playing. But oh yeah, I didn't even realise you were here, mate. And it's like, and it's so seamless, and that seems to be the case on Dying Light 2 as well. Fantastic drop in, drop out gameplay, and really, that's for me is where the real fun is going to be. The only downside, and I do agree with Craig's take on this, is the way that they've done it is that you exist within that person's world. So let's say, for example, you've done 3 missions, Craig's done 3 missions, and I've done 3. He jumps into my world, and we do the next 3 missions. Then when he goes back to his game, he's then got to do those same 3 missions. And that repetition can be a bit of a downer.
Well, that was the case with the tower that we unlocked.
Yes, the tower,
it might be different with missions. Yeah, we didn't quite get that far, did we? With the tower, certainly had to go back and.
Because you were actually able to actually change something in the world, weren't you? Because I think in this sort of game, generally, it's like the tower, I would have to activate it because it's my game, but you went and did that without even thinking, didn't you? So that was quite interesting. And the final part I want to touch on is the combat. And again, it is very early days. I remember the combat was one of the great selling points for the first Dying Light, albeit it was a little bit on the level. There were some great things. The drop kick, let's face it, was the most fun ever. I spent, I don't know how many hours I wasted in Dying Light 1 drop kicking every zombie that I came across. And there's one point there was 4 of us just standing there drop kicking everything that came near. It's just so much
like Royal Rumble.
It is, yeah. And so far what I've seen of the combat is much of the same. And I know there was a lot of talk during the lead up to this being released about the combat being more dynamic. I haven't really seen a lot of that yet, but like I said, 3.5 hours in. So a lot of early days. My first impressions are good. It's delivering what I think I was hoping it would deliver. But the truth is, if I'm being honest, it's not a lot different from the first game. There's nothing in it, a lot in it, that makes me go, they've made huge leaps and bounds from the first game. Apart from, I would say, the day and night things that I talked about at the beginning. I think they make a huge difference to the engagement and making you want to go out of the safe zones and do things. And depending on when you do them, whether you do them at night is a totally different kettle of fish from whether you do it during the day and that kind of thing. And I think that immediately I can see that works really, really well. But everything else, it seems much of a much. And I have to say, one of the things I did notice, although it may change, is that most of the things that you seem to be able to interact with or change in the world, even though I haven't actually been able to do them yet, seem to be a choice A or choice B. So it's peacemakers or survivors. And I remember at the beginning when they were talking about what they were going to do with Dying Light 2, I think they were talking about 5 or 6 different factions that you could actually, whatever choice you made a difference to the world. And I can't help feeling that at some point during the development delays that they've come along and gone, do you know what, actually we can't actually do this, and they've had to scale it back to just
This is too hard. We're being too ambitious.
I've got to be honest here. I think that's very much what's happened. I think where I was excited for Dying Light was the thing that was hooking me on Dying Light 2.
Yeah.
I mean, as you say, it seems to deliver. Some reviews are being really hard on the narrative side of things. I think probably because it promised so much in the initial days. Yeah. But I think also, like you said, realistically, it's a game about zombie combat with your mates, and it sounds like it does that very well. And I've heard nothing but praise for parkour in it as well. I haven't touched it myself because I haven't had time, and I've been playing God of War. But I think what you're saying about that narrative thing, though, I remember the initial thing, and I remember watching the initial reveal of it, and they were like showing all these different branches of the story. And if you denied more to these people,
so they are there.
Yeah.
They're, when you go into a conversation with somebody, it's very Mass Effect. Very Dragon Age. There are choices, and some of those choices I don't know at this stage could have an impact later on. Even in the first hour and a half when you meet up with this guy Hakon, and he asks you a very pertinent question before he kind of goes off and does some things, and that choice is, do you want to do this and do that? And they're very white and black, and I can't help feeling that will have an impact on what the end is. Already at that point, so I think it's just there, not quite as much as they were making.
Yeah, from what I understand is like the overall impact of that feels quite weightless almost. Yeah, I mean I don't know for sure because I've not experienced it, but the reviews are very much like the story gets very weightless and ethereal towards the end. And again, don't know for definite, but it's just from the impression I've got from almost every review is like the story's a bit meh. And again, everyone's mileage is going to be different on story, right? Some people find one story super engaging. I know people who hate Mass Effect story, and I'm like, you're an idiot. Get out of it.
You're wrong. Your opinion is wrong.
But sure.
Everyone's entitled to their opinion. In this case, you're wrong.
Is that a symptom of it being one of those sort of, because I guess it's almost like a choose your own adventure, isn't it? Where your choices make a difference to the storyline. So does it get a bit, because there's 10 different narratives that split off at some point.
You have the thing with Choose Your Own Adventure. It's the same thing. There's only like 4 or 5 endings in a Choose Your Own Adventure book, but you can take like 50 routes to get there. But you all end up with the same endings, which is a bit, a bit strange. So
Warlock, a Firetop Mountain.
Oh no, that wasn't Fighting Fantasy. To be fair,
that was Fighting Fantasy. That was the first one.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, the dice for those books, they were great.
Death Trap Dungeon.
Yeah,
and off we go on another tangent.
Yeah, anyway. Yeah, but this is a quality tangent. This is the beginnings of Games Workshop. I
still have those first 3 books.
Yeah, they've reprinted them as well. Now, if you want better copies, they've reprinted them. But yeah, they are literally the beginnings of Games Workshop, mate. So those miniatures that you have, Craig, are all thanks to Fire Trap Mountain, and
Warlock, a Fire Trap Mountain, and Death Trap Dungeon. Yeah.
Those two books kickstarted the whole things. They were honestly, if you've never tried them, Craig, they're great fun. They're basically choose your own adventure books, but with added RPG mechanics.
Yeah, it's literally a paragraph of description about where you're going, and then at the bottom it says, "Do you want to go left? Go to page 74." And you just, and they're so good. There's so much.
But you have a dice for the combat,
and you have a D, and you have dice, and you roll for combat. They're very clever.
Honestly, good ones. If your kids like books, I don't know if your kids read. If your kids read, get them a copy of Death Trap Dungeon and Fire Trap. They're really good fun. Really good fun, mate.
But anyway, the game. I think again, it's early days. I think when I've got a good 20, 30, 40 hours in, I'll have more to say about the narrative and the game changing things that they promised early on in the development. But however, as I said, what I'm there for is there. I'm there for zombie bashing and running across rooftops like a nutter, feeling like I'm a Superman with my mates. That's what I'm there for, and it delivers on that as far as I can tell.
Yeah, I think I'm in a slightly different place than Alan at the moment on it. We're basically the same way through, so we basically played the same amount. Started off, I was a bit not sure. Started to get into it. Started to do a few of the activities. Did a night activity, did a day activity. Sort of unlocked my first area and stuff like that. And I was I'm just really unsure on it at the moment. I haven't made my mind up on it. Sometimes it's got flashes of brilliance.
Do you?
No, they've added in a stamina meter for climbing, which I find really frustrating, which they didn't have in the first game. So
Thanks,
you can't
Breath of
just
the
climb
Wild.
everywhere. Yeah, so I don't know if it's an inspiration for that, or there is a narrative point to the story that suggests potentially that could go away. But we'll wait to find out.
Injections that increase your strength and your stamina, right?
yeah,
Because they do
yeah.
say that. So
So potentially this could change further down the line. Yeah, and I think I've talking about bugs has obviously been a big thing that they talked about across the reviews.
Yeah.
And before the day one patch, so the first time I played it at midnight briefly when it first came out because I was still up. I thought, yeah, I'll chuck it on, have a quick go. In that first playthrough, I got stuck in a wall. I had a side of a building not appear, so it was just like looking into the depths of the void.
It's the
And
same
I had a
thing with
crash
Cyberpunk.
to dash as well,
It's the
going from the
Cyberpunk
first
thing with
section
games
going into
where
the second
Ratley
section.
had like tons of
and,
bugs, and I never saw any. I haven't seen a single bug.
Yeah, and so going from first section into the second section, it completely crashed the dash. So I had to load it all back up again, which isn't really an issue because we're on an Xbox Series X and it just goes like that and it's loaded. But now I played it today, and I'm going to assume there's been the day one patch land, and I've not seen a bug since. So I'm going to put that down to that early pre-release stuff, which kind of makes sense because I think it was about 1,000 changes that they made on that day one patch.
At that
which
point,
is
you're playing
I
the
don't-
demo until the patch comes out, aren't you?
yeah, effectively, yeah.
I
which
don't
is
understand how the
gone
development
tomorrow.
process works. If you've got so many problems that you're playing it literally 24 hours before it's released and it's crashing to dash and there's bugs left, right, and centre, and then they do like a patch and then it's all fixed by 20. Why was it not fixed 24 hours ago? It's
commercials, isn't it?
I don't get it.
It's commercials, man. It's
'Cause
commercials. They need to come out.
Pay for the patch, haven't they? They've got to pay
That's it.
Sony and Xbox to get the
Yeah.
patch through.
Yeah, that's it. So I'm very, very hot and cold in it at the moment. I'm sort of not really enjoying the parkour as much as Alan at the moment. But it's not a bad game. It's not a great game. It's very middling for me at the moment, but I'm going to stick with it a bit more and get stuck in. And
That
have a go, and
sounds like a
hopefully,
lot of what people said about Dying Light when it first came out.
which I
It's
ended up really enjoying.
Almost exactly, yeah.
And it's
Yeah,
got a
apart
massive
from-
audience, Dying Light, and a lot of people
It has,
are
yeah.
still playing it up to this day.
It's 'cause
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
supported for so
don't
long.
take what I just said as being me saying Dying Light bad, because Dying Light obviously isn't. It survived really well, and it's a game I've never played, but I've always kind of thought I should give that a try at some point, but
Yeah.
I've never quite got around to it.
Actually brings me on to my next point quite nicely, actually. So with Dying Light 1, I really enjoyed that game, but I played it on the Xbox One. Now, my problem with that, and again, we have this conversation with Underlips every time about 30 frames or 60 frames, that you can't see the difference. But anyway,
Well.
that game was a stunning game, Dying Light. I think I really like what they did with the world, the way the trees would sway in the wind and all the particles and stuff, but it really suffered. It had this horrendous motion blur, and it was running what's felt like sub 30 frames a second a lot of the time on the original Xbox. And that really, I struggled to play it because it used to make me feel motion sick. They did an FPS patch on that game, eliminated all that, and actually I could just play it perfectly and really enjoyed it. It was more like playing Mirror's Edge. It was great, which is what it should be for something, a first-person parkour game. Now, the new one, on performance mode, it runs beautifully, silky smooth. The only downside, again, this is on the Xbox Series X. I'm not, can't say about PC because I'm sure that isn't the case, because you've got the option between your quality mode and your performance mode. The performance mode runs smoothly, but it's quite muddy in everywhere. Sort of things are sort of smudged a little bit, which is obviously what they're doing. They're checkerboard or whatever they're doing to kind of get it running really, really smoothly. So it runs nice, but it looks a bit meh. And then when you put it on the quality mode, it really sharpens it up. A lot more detail. It looks much nicer. But again, back comes that motion blur. Back comes that really choppy. And actually, the first time Alan switched over and went, actually, I think I can see I prefer the performance mode on this one.
There's three modes. I can't remember what the third one
Resolution's
was.
the other
That was it. There was
yeah.
resolution, performance, and I didn't realise I was on performance because normally I don't really care, as I've said many times. And then when Craig was going, I said I'll go and have a look, and I put it onto quality, and I was like, ooh. Actually, I don't like that. That's actually I can actually see the blur. It's like I don't. It's not gelling for me. I think it actually looks worse quality than the performance mode, to be honest. And I went straight back to performance.
I think quality's got ray tracing, hasn't it? I believe the
I
quality
think so,
mode.
yeah. Well, I was going to say, one of the things you were saying about on PC, I know I saw some reviews, and I think there's one thing that, even on PC, it doesn't support DLSS, which is quite
Yes,
bizarre.
I
so
noticed.
you can't do. Well, there's an issue with the DLSS. I can't remember what it is, but yeah, it's basically there's it runs, and you need a bit of a chunky machine to get real performance out of it. To be fair. So yeah. I mean, it's obviously needs some optimization, but then again, let's be honest. Techland are a small studio. It's as Skill Up said in his review. Technically, it's an indie studio, right?
Yeah,
It is.
And credit to them. I mean, you look at that game. It does not look like an indie studio produced game in any way, shape, or form.
No.
I think they deserve props for getting it out. I'm not going to stand here and bash Techland for some slight performance issues on a game like that. I think they've done a great job from what I can see. Alan seems to be enjoying it, and he's my bar of measure on this game because he was the one hyped for it. If Alan says it's good, I'll take Alan's word for it. Thank you very much.
There's a lovely reference, and I'm not going to give it away because if you haven't played it, but there's a lovely reference to one of Techland's first commercially successful games, Dead Island. Yeah, and and they also mentioned, one of the things I haven't mentioned is the new character Aiden. Now, don't get me wrong. I couldn't care about protagonists. I don't care. I do like the fact they put voices to them. I hate it when they don't give a voice to the protagonist and somebody talks to them and they just don't say anything. It's just stupid, and it takes out the immersion. Yeah, exactly. But like the guy in it is called Aiden, and I maybe it's just me, but he sounds exactly the same as the guy from the first one, Crane. It's like they hired the same voice actor,
It might have done.
or his brother.
I thought it was the same guy.
Yeah,
Genuinely
yeah.
thought it was the same character. Yeah,
But they aren't, and they actually make a reference to Crane in the intro that is actually made. But it isn't the same guy, and it is a different voice actor. But it's like, did you just go out and we need somebody who sounds exactly the same?
So you can get do an impression of it.
That's it, yeah. So, Lee, is that something, do you think, I mean, obviously you play across mainly on PC, but you also do Xbox and PlayStation as well. Is that one you think
it
again?
like that's a game that I would play on PC purely because I'm not a big fan of when you have to pick the mode, like whether it's performance mode or quality mode. I'd like to have performance mode with the graphical settings that I want.
PC
Does that make
Master
sense?
Race.
I was going to say, check out the PC snob in the corner. Yeah.
On PC, that's what you get. No, I get it. Like, there's some games are really good on console. You play a console-specific game, like first-party one, they'll be great and they'll look amazing. They'll have their two modes, and I'll probably trend towards the performance one more than anything because I need the frames because otherwise my eyes literally bleed. But dying like a first-person one like that, I don't think I'd be able to deal with the quality stuff at all. But
No.
I don't know if Dying Light's for me because it sounds like a game where it's like the idea of flowing in it, where you're just sort of running around and doing all the jumping and the parkour, and then doing a few combats, and then running off, and you're making your own little montage. Sounds quite good, but
Would it make a difference if I told you there was a
zombies
tower
and
in
knives
it?
Not really.
There's a tower. Destiny has a tower.
Mate, you think that's what makes Destiny good? It's a tower.
Destiny's
There's
good.
a reason it got blown up in the second one, bro.
Cool, great stuff. Cool. Excellent. And then, Alan, you have been watching something. Well, there's a few of us been watching something, actually, that you wanted to talk about next as well.
So I'll start as I've already been talking for the last 20 minutes. But I apart from watching the next 3 episodes of The Legend of Vox Machina, which has got considerably better from what I was talking. I mean, last week it wasn't bad. I just thought there were a couple of niggles on Prime, and I've watched the next 3 episodes, and I'm really, really enjoying it at this point. And I've gone back and watched the first 3 episodes, and it's really working.
I do apologise. One second. I'm just going to have to cut into you there, Alan. I just need to nip away for 2 minutes, and I'll be right back. Carry on.
Okay, so but I've been watching Reacher, which has just been released on Prime.
Yes.
And it stars Mr. Alan, great name that, by the way, Richardson. If you don't know who Alan Richardson is, he is Hawk from Titans, which is on Netflix. Big guy, huge guy, and he's been in a lot of other things, Hunger Games, I believe, and I really like him as an actor. I do not know the Lee Child books that Reacher is based on as well as everybody else. I do know that I enjoyed the Tom Cruise movies and everybody else hates them that's read the books.
They were all right.
I enjoyed them for films. I wasn't sat there comparing, and a lot of people were saying, "Oh, he's not Jack Reacher. He's too short."
He's not
and I'm
big
like,
enough.
Does that matter?
He's not tall.
It doesn't matter.
He's not
but
6'4".
yeah, exactly. But apparently it does, because now we've got a Jack Reacher that's apparently 6.5 and built like a brick house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It kind of it feels different. It hits different. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, yeah, but you know,
Also, I think there is. If there was ever a call for fan outrage at a casting, it's like this guy is supposed to be this mountain of man. Let's get the smallest man in Hollywood to play it, right? I do get it.
it doesn't matter.
I do get it. Oh, I agree. I thought Tom Cruise did a good job. I'm not slating the movies. I enjoyed them, but I do kind of get where the fans are coming from when they go, "We're going to cast Jack Reacher. Get the short ass in." You know?
There's one particular line in that first film that always got me with that is when the police go to this like motel and say, "Yeah, this woman's been like beaten to death or something. Is there anyone around here you think could do that?" They're like, "Yeah, there's only one guy over there." And little Tom Cruise comes walking out like, "Yeah, whatever."
But in a way, that's almost cool and fun because it's like when he goes to that house after the drug dealer and those 2-3 guys comes in. He's only a little guy, kicks their ass.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It shows he has skills. He's not just built like a brick shithouse. So, but anyway, moving on from that, I also was a huge fan of like what's the other one? Jack Ryan.
Yeah.
Jack Ryan, absolutely fantastic series. Very different though. That's more of a spy thing. This is Jack Reacher. He's a guy who travels around the country fighting crime, like
a hobo, not a vagrant.
A hobo, not a vagrant. I thought it was a bit slow in starting. I'm 4 episodes out of 8 into it. I thought that the lead up was very slow. The other supporting cast, I haven't written down any of their names and I apologise, but the Roscoe and the detective, they're both fantastically played. Really enjoying the relationships and everything that's going on there. And Alan Richland is doing a fantastic job, in my opinion. I really, really think it's, it doesn't matter that he is a massive guy and that he's a massive guy in the books to me. It's just the content and the story and how it's written and how it's acted. And they're doing a really, really good job. And I was a bit worried. I thought at the beginning, oh, is this going to be like a story and episode type thing? A bit like the Equalizer TV series. Every episode we're going to take down a huge amount of bad guys, the A-Team. But it isn't. It's actually a slow drawn out story that's escalating as we go along. And if you haven't watched it yet, the opening scene of episode 4, I'm just going to talk about legs in the trunk. But that's
not
all I'm
there
going to
yet.
say. That's all I'm going to say. And I do have to say, one of the comments I have about it is the fact that Jack Reacher seems to spend his entire time eating crap and doing absolutely zero exercise, yet has the body of a Greek Adonis. Yeah. Now, I've done the same thing, and I can assure you I do not have the body of a Greek Adonis.
Annoyingly, there are people out there like that, though. There are people out there.
Seriously, not that hench, though, Lee.
No,
not
seriously,
that
there
hench.
are.
You have to work out seriously to get to be that
There's
hench.
some NFL players will be like, all they do is calisthenics, like that. All they'll do is push-ups.
Yeah, but he doesn't seem to do any. He doesn't do any exercise.
No, you missed the point. He gets his exercise from punching people.
I mean, he does. I think he has some sex in the 3rd episode. That's quite calorie heavy, isn't it? So he has a pretty good workout. I think in the shower too. So obviously, that was.
And he's holding her up. So
Yeah.
She
So
don't weigh nothing, but.
That's not episode 3. I've not seen that yet. So
that must be in episode 4. So that counteracts the leg scene. But yes, so far 4 episodes in, loving it. I really, really am. I think it's some fantastic television. Really loving Alan Ritchson in the lead role. I loved him as Hawk, to be honest, in Titans.
Yeah,
I think he's got a good range as an actor, and he really fits the role. In the beginning, he literally for the first 10-15 minutes of the episode doesn't say anything.
Yeah,
and then when he does say something, it has impact, and he delivers it. And I think he continues to do that.
He played Raphael in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Yes. The other thing I'd say, you say he's got a great range. Fell over your own tongue. I was going to say, when you talked about his range as an actor, though, like you obviously, a lot of people were introduced to him via Hawk in Titans, but I first saw this man in a series called Blue Mountain State.
I've heard,
and he plays Thad Castle, and oh boy. His Blue Mountain State, quite the show, and not at all like either of those things at all. It's a college show in America where he basically plays like the head of a fraternity, and he just like basically spends the entire time like with suppressed homosexual tendencies, banging all the women he can find and taking all the drugs he can find, it's one of the strangest comedies I've ever seen. And it's one of those weird American shows that's got a profoundly English sense of humour to it, but delivered in a very American way. So like a lot of my mates really loved it. It's like, what the hell are we watching? Like, I really do it. I'd recommend it for a laugh. But yeah, you see him doing that, and when I saw he was classed as Jack Reacher, I'm like, him? What? Dad from Blue Mountain State? He's going to be Jack Reacher.
I would recommend if you haven't watched it and you like that sort of stuff, it's definitely worth watching. Very
I'm
good
a big
television.
fan
It sounds
of
good.
books.
Yeah,
Sounds
Big fan
good.
of the books, and I thought
I can't remember. Is it based?
It
Was it the Killing Floor or something?
Killing Floor? Yeah, but it's,
Yeah, that's
the
the
thing
one
with
it's
the books
based
is
on.
they're like they are quite slow to start with. They sort of build up where he is, and he'll be in some small town somewhere in America usually, and then like a mystery's unfolding around him that he ends up getting sucked into, and then he has to. He's basically this tour de force of just this natural force of karma that comes in and just wrecks all the bad guys. And and that show I thought got that essence really well. And there's a couple of scenes. One of them is when they're in the prison. And
are you talking
the
about
guy
shower-
goes into
shower
the
scene?
cell. The guy's going to his
Oh,
cell.
that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And when he
That's
grabs
so
that
good.
guy, smashes his head against the bed and then punches it like three times.
Yeah.
That's
Ouch.
Jack Reacher. That's just,
Yeah.
and when he's gouging that guy's eye out.
Yeah.
That's like that's Jack Reacher.
Sounds
When he's snapping
lovely.
the legs
Yeah.
and stuff. It's Batman for men. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
Wait.
a mix of Batman and Sherlock Holmes for men.
Do you know a
what
scene
those
that's
books
always
are.
lived with me from like talking about prison scenes, like it's not like a big tangent now. The Punisher in Daredevil season 2, that prison sequence, mate. Because I was so nervous they were bringing the Punisher in because I love the Punisher. He's one of my favourite Marvel characters. Like, but I always feel he gets watered down so much because it's very hard to get the Punisher feeling legit because he's so brutal. And I watched that scene, I was just like.
Talking about prison scenes, let's talk about Rorschach in The Watchmen.
Oh yeah.
You think you're in prison with me? I'm in prison with you. You're in prison with me.
I love that. It's a bit of the guy puts his hands through the bars, and just like, it's like so nasty. It's just, Rorschach, badass, man, badass.
Right,
Anyway,
Mr. Chris, what is
So
your secret little surprise that you want
well,
to
I've
talk
watched
about?
a couple of things.
Yeah.
One of them is Don't Look Up on Netflix, which if you haven't seen, you need to see. It's great, but it's one of these weird things that I came away from. I loved it, but I was so depressed in a way after watching it.
That's
I
why I
was
don't
like,
want to watch it.
yeah, this is
I've just
exactly
been
what it's going to be
raging
like,
the
isn't
entire
it?
time. Yeah.
No, you won't rage, honestly, but you'll just come away going, yeah, that's sadly what people are like. But it's a brilliant film. Can't say enough good things about DiCaprio and Jennifer Lawrence in it. She's so those pair of them are great in it, and the supporting cast are good as well. Like Timothy Chalamet, he shows up, doesn't he? And doing his thing.
Yeah.
Who, sorry?
Chalamet. Mate, I would have butchered his surname regardless, so I might as well go all in on it. Man,
Is it Chalamet?
Yes, I think possibly.
Chalamet, isn't it?
Yeah, the guy from June. Yeah. He's in it. I thought the film was great, albeit a little depressing and sad because of you kind of look at it and go, "Yep, that's the world we live in. That's 100% the world we live in." But in
I
every
love that
respect, the cast nail it. The story's great. It's brilliantly acted. I can't. When people say Netflix have slam dunked it, that is an absolute slam dunk from Netflix. I mean. Like I say, I can understand why people find it difficult to watch. So I do get that. So I do get what you're saying, Lee. But by the same token, I would recommend watching it. It's a brilliant film. Absolutely.
I have nihilistic tendencies. I don't think I should watch it.
It's just the idea of it because it's just I can't. We've just lived it for 2 years and I can't.
I mean, it's the point where they go on a TV show to like a big America's Breakfast Morning TV show to discuss it, and they basically say we're all gonna die, and everyone's like, oh, so what you're saying is, it might not happen then. It's like, oh, it's not that bad then. It's like, no, we're all going to die. And it's like, hey, it's Kimmy. Hello, Kimmy.
Hey, Kimmy.
Hey, so
Kimmy is on one of our eepisodes. A few months back, but yeah, good to see you, Kimmy. We'll have you back on again
She's
soon.
been lurking in our WhatsApp chat
She
room
has.
ever since.
Yeah.
She's the only guest we've never summarily kicked out straight after being
Yeah,
in there. to be
yeah.
fair. I think that's probably she timed that really well, being on that episode before the hiatus.
Yeah,
The WhatsApp
yeah.
group wasn't really monitored. She just kind
Every
of
now and
leaked
again,
it.
she pops up and goes, "I'm still here, by the way." Oh yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter now.
We need that feminine side to the group. Bit of a sausage fest, so it's good to have her in there.
Oh, Lee's
thanks,
getting some
Kimmy.
love. Oh, there he
To
is.
hear from you too.
And the other thing I've started watching, and it's a bit of a curveball. I just sort of saw it. I was on Disney Plus after watching the Book of Boba Fett.
We've got.
I was going to say Booby Feet. I was going to say
talked
Booby
about last
Feet.
week, didn't we?
Well, the episode,
Yeah,
but
but
another
it's-
episode dropped, right? My only complaint about the current episode of the Book of Boba Fett, and I'm just going to go over the last two episodes in particular, it feels like at the minute it's less about Boba Fett and more about another character.
I made a comment about this in the chat room last week.
Yeah, I agree, mate.
Yeah.
I agree with what you're saying. But my other thing is, it feels like at the minute, like the last episode in particular, just kind of wheeled out all the people to like just trigger the nostalgia. Like, hey, it's like I saw a great reel on Instagram about it today. Some guy in his cosplay of the Mandalorian, like literally said, when Filoni needs to say, you hear Filoni needs to save the series, he just wanders out like he's on a mission. And I'm just like, yeah, that's pretty much how we feel about. Most people feel about this so far. But my other complaint about this is that obviously there was a big character reveal at the end of this week's Mandalorian episode, and the minute I saw the figure in the distance, I knew exactly who it was going to be. I was like, right, I know who that is, 100%. And I can't help but feel, and I'm going to just try and do this without spoiling it. I can't help but feel that the whole story would have been serviced far better if he'd been introduced in episode 2. Is it where the bad things happen with the Tuscans, or is it episode 3? Episode 3? No, 2.
Episode 3.
3. Yeah, the early first half, isn't it, where you see
I
the
think so,
Tuscans? Yeah. If he'd have been shown to be like the driving force behind that, you'd have had so much more investment throughout the whole thing about when he's.
The problem is, and I said this as I said last week after the episode. It's like, isn't this supposed to be the book of Boba Fett?
Yeah,
What
yeah.
the hell is Boba Fett? But the problem with that argument is that it's such damn good Star Wars. Both weeks, despite the fact Boba Fett had 2 lines in this week's episode, it's such. You're sitting there fanboying and nerdgasming all over.
Don't get me wrong, I'm enjoying it.
So good Star Wars, but it's like, where's Boba Fett?
But I do think the last 2 episodes have been specific. That they're treading that fine line and stepping over it a little bit for me of that wheeling out the nostalgia triggers. Like just hey. Although when there was, as Craig knows, a certain passage I was like I was in a happy place when someone showed up with their lightsabers. That's all I'll say. I was like, oh, my heart went. But
anyway.
I mean, there's so much good stuff, and like I can see you going. I have my reservations about it. I am enjoying it, but I can't help but feel like it's just it's been written to appease fans as opposed to written to tell a great story throughout. There's a little bit.
I don't think you can say that until you get to the end of it.
Well, yeah,
until you
I
watch
don't
something
know.
its entirety.
I don't know that
But
for
try
sure.
and
But
swap it
Would
the
it
other way
matter
around.
if
If
the
we've been watching The
title was
Mandalorian and then halfway through the series they had 2 episodes about a completely different character in there,
Can
would
I
we
just
still
say
be
there are
saying
like
the same
2 or
thing
3
about how
episodes
good
of
The
The Mandalorian
Mandalorian
that
was?
have Boba Fett in them?
yeah, but Boba Fett's the
not
main
the
character of
whole
them.
episode.
Yeah, but it's not all about Boba Fett. Like, and
But
let's
those
face it.
episodes weren't all
Spoilers,
about-
everybody, spoilers.
Yeah, but yeah.
I don't know, man. I feel like it's an anthology series, and it's like.
Then it should be
technically-
called the Book of Star Wars.
Well,
and
they
the Book
thought they
of
were
Tatooine,
filming Mandalorian
not
season
the
3,
Book of
didn't they?
Boba
All
Fett.
the people in it.
Sorry, say again, Lee.
All the people in it thought they were doing Mando season 3. They didn't even realise they were doing the Book of.
Well,
Boba
you said
Boba
that,
Fett.
Craig. You said it's like watching Mando 2.5.
Yeah,
So-
I think, and that's not a bad thing though, because more Mando's great, and it's good. But I do think that my worry is just that it's. I've said this to Craig, and I don't hate it. I'm not being one of these people that hate. I hate episode 3's stupid chase sequence because that's just crap. It's objectively just crap.
That wasn't good.
My complaints about this series haven't been that it's bad per se. It's just that I don't feel invested in it, like in Boba Fett in it in any real way. And I think the character change of him, I was thinking about it today actually, like the character changes happened way too quickly and suddenly and without being earned in a lot of ways. And I listened to what you guys said last week where it's this whole transformation. And I guess I get that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to un-bad guy the bad guy. And there is reason for it, but I just can't help but feel like there's no investment in that like real term. It's like he just kind of showed up, did this one thing, and then suddenly became a good guy. And it's like
So maybe for
a
you
little bit
then.
more.
So maybe for you then,
What
if
next
they'd have
week
had.
becomes a bad guy.
Sorry, go
Well,
on.
but
Lee.
yeah,
Next week he turns on everyone
Well,
and goes full on.
no, he doesn't have to be a bad guy. He
hardcore.
just has to. He has to have a bit more shades of grey to it. And like the other thing is like, think about like how we found out this was going to happen at the end of Mando season 2. He shows up, and the first thing he does, Bib Fortuna's like, hey Mando, sorry, Boba, I thought you were dead. Bang, just blows him away right there, then and there. Doesn't say a word and just sits down. You're like, now that is bad. That's Boba Fett. It's badass. And ever since that moment, he's gone, I killed him. I'll just be nice to everyone now. I'm just going to smile at everyone, be nice. We don't need to kill any more people. It's like,
So maybe
you're a crime lord. Be a goddamn crime lord.
I
Just a
think
little
maybe
bit of a
you'd have
crime
preferred
lord.
it. Maybe you'd
I
have
think he's
preferred
trying
it.
to do it that way, and then he's going to go, this is
Maybe.
working.
Maybe.
I'm just
So
gonna
maybe
do it
you
this way.
preferred it if you'd have had that whole kind of Tuscan thing, the flashback scenario, as the start of the series, and have it more linear potentially, because then maybe you'd felt you got that investment before he moved there and see
Well,
why
may-
he changed into who he was.
Possibly, and also like it would give more time to explore the change of it, you know, and like, and I would have been happy to spend more time with the Tuscans. I was enjoying that. I think they rushed that, to be quite honest. You know, like I would have liked to spend more time with the Tuscans and Boba Fett exploring more about what it meant to be Boba Fett, why he disconnected from the bounty hunter past. You know, it just all happened so quickly, and it didn't feel earned properly for me. I don't dislike the idea. I just think that they've kind of, again, what I would rather probably have had, by the stands, it's 8 episodes, isn't it, the season? I think it is. Is it 8 or 9?
Yeah, I think it's 8.
I'm not sure yet. Mr.
yeah,
Mims, hello, how are you? Good to
How
see
do?
you.
I would have much rather have had maybe a couple more episodes and just expand it a little bit. Don't drag it out, but just expand it. Really delve into this. Make Boba more interesting. Don't just have him turn on a dime from being this silent, barely says a thing, super badass to, hey, I'm chatty, I ride like a bantha. And I was just like, oh, come on, that was cringe.
When he starts going up against the people who are the bad guys in this, I think we're going to see a big turn in the way he is. I think it's going to go a lot more action heavy.
I hope. Well, yeah, but I don't just want to see action. I want to see
brutal
that
in
character be. That character feel more like it gets
The
to where it
original
wants to
Boba
be, you
Fett.
know? No.
In the last episode, when he's riding a rancor and he makes it eat someone, you think, oh, okay. Boba Fett.
I mean, don't get me wrong,
Will you not
mate.
think
Mate,
it's Boba Fett
but
then?
it comes back to Alan's point. Well, no, not necessarily. It can be incredibly fun and a really enjoyable show, and still completely betray the character. Like they aren't mutually exclusive. It could absolutely be a really fun load of nonsense, which I enjoy a whole hell of a lot, but I have my reservations about. There's loads of stuff I don't objectively like, but I do, you know, like in terms of when I get critical about it, but I go, I don't care, I switch my brain off and have fun with it. And the Book of Boba Fett is definitely turning into, I can have fun with it, but there's a lot of objective criticism about the show, in my opinion. You know, like I'm not saying it's bad, but I think it's, and I do this with other things I like. There's a lot of stuff I love, but I will say, look, this is bad in it, you know, and it should be, you know, what. I'm very. Everyone knows I'm a big Zack Snyder DC fan, and I love Batman v Superman. And I know that a lot of people really hate that movie, and I understand why a lot of people hate that movie, because there's a lot of things that movie does right. If you are a big nerd and know loads of the history, then there's deep cuts in it, right? And you have to, and you shouldn't have to go into the movie having all this like vast wealth of background lore and knowledge on certain characters to understand what this one shot in the movie means. That movie would have been better service with more story, and I totally get why people don't like that movie. And I think that's what I'm saying about Boba Fett is, it's not that it's bad, it's just that there's something not quite right in how it's gone about what it wants to do. I mean, like I say, I'm still enjoying it. I loved the last 2 episodes. They're a lot of fun. You know, I think you know, obviously Space Top Gun made Phil very happy. And I really like where they're going with the Mando thing, although I am a little worried they're going to completely undercut the brilliant ending of season 2 with like one simple thing in this and be like, oh, we're back to where we were. It's like, you know, like a reset button almost. I was like,
We'll see, won't we? We'll
see
see.
what happens there.
Right,
But-
This is
but
actually what you were going to talk about.
No,
is it?
it's not at all,
This
it's not
was
at
So
all.
it isn't. It isn't.
No,
right.
not
Well,
at
let's
all.
be quick on the next one because
So-
yeah, still got lots to cover.
Yeah, so what I was going to talk about quickly, and I don't know if Alan's seen this, but I started watching The War of the Worlds. Now, not the Tom Cruise movie,
No.
not the BBC drama,
Right.
not the H.G. Wells stage show, but the Studio Canal version from France, which was stars. His name's gone now. He was in Gabriel Byrne. Gabriel Byrne's in it. He was in
Yes.
Usual Suspects. I was gonna say.
Yes.
Yeah. Have you seen it, Al?
I have seen the first 3 episodes. It's different.
Yeah, very different.
It's if you go. I mean,
we lost Lee.
Calling it War of the Worlds almost seems like you're just jumping on the back of the name of something that's really popular and has a massive history to sell your TV series. And that's my way of saying that 3 episodes I watched, I felt were really good in terms of atmosphere, in how they did things, everything, the special effects, everything was top notch. It just wasn't War of the Worlds. It was it was something different, and it was really good. When they get to like the supermarket and think you see what starts happening, you're like, oh my god, this is dark. This is really dark.
It gets way worse.
Yeah.
Way worse.
Yeah.
So I've been enjoying it with a big caveat to it. Like it's very, very slow. Like it's glacially slow throughout the whole series. And it got to the end of season 1 where there's supposed to be the big payoff moment. And it happened, and I kind of went, huh. And it's like it's
Very descriptive, mate. I like
Yeah,
it.
I think
Is that your cum face?
yeah, something like that. Yeah, it's that moment you realise. Yeah, oops. So no, it's like has a reservation. I can't do anything with spoilers, but you're like, okay, so am I reading this right, and this is what they're trying to say, or is it something different, or are we looking at this now being a thing, and it introduces all these possibilities. So I'm kind of interested to see where it goes, but like I kind of feel like the season finale was kind of just a bit, and it just kind of happened, and I was like, that doesn't feel like very final thing. So there is a season 2, and I'm going to get stuck into that. I also have been enjoying it. It's much more about the human side of anything than it is about, like, it's much more of a human drama than it is a sci-fi show. There is sci-fi in it, and there's points of it, but I've been enjoying it a whole hell of a lot. I can't say it's for everyone because it definitely isn't. It's a proper dark human sci-fi drama. Yeah, I probably like it because it's got like echoes of the humanity drama.
I think even in the first 3 episodes, the whole Gabriel Byrne arc with his ex-wife and you're kind of like, ooh, right.
Well,
this
mate,
dark.
if you think that's dark, wait till you meet the French lady and her brother. That's on a whole nother level of messed up. It's like, ooh, that's messed up. That is a dark arc. So there's a lot of real like interesting stuff like that. And I like it a lot. And I would say give it a watch if you're really into like human drama with a bit of sci-fi elements in it. I think that
where is that streaming? Sorry,
it's Disney Plus. Yeah,
Disney Plus.
Because I haven't got it. So I said after watching the Book of Boba Fett, I was on Disney Plus. I went, oh look. So I would say check it out if you're into that kind of thing. But going with a caveat that it's very heavy on the drama and the human element and like the weight of the death of all the humanity, death of a lot of humanity and stuff like that. It's but it does sort of shape up to War of the Worlds at points. But there's certainly a different approach to the War of the Worlds story, and it isn't the same story you've seen. It's got the loose threads of it, but played out quite differently. And I would certainly have a look at it. But like, I mean, it's interesting. I wondered if Alan was cynic. I thought he'd
want
like
to go back, to be honest, and watch some more. Because as I say, I did enjoy those 3 episodes, but it was slow. I'm easily distracted. Let's be honest.
Yeah, and it does have that weird thing where it has one thing I really hate in shows. And it's not just this show that does it, but you know what I mean. Is where like there'll be a gunfight with the bad guys, right? And like one time they'll put like 6 trillion bullets into a bad guy and nothing happens. The next time when it needs to, it's like, oh, fire the bullet, it's dead. And it's like
that's called the Stargate effect. Yeah. First time you meet the Wraiths in Atlantis, they won't die. 3 episodes later, bang, 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 bang.
Narrative convenience.
Yeah, it'll plot armor as weakened.
Well, actually, I mean that's that you talking about the show and about as sort of quite slow going brings me quite nicely onto something I wanted to talk about, which was a TV show that I know Lee's seen. And
I'm sorry, we haven't got any more time left now, Craig.
Oh no, that's a shame, isn't it? Okay, no worries. Well, we'll see you later, Alan. So
No, I've changed sides. That's not right. I'm confused now.
Oh, he's all confused. Anyway, so it's a show. It's actually on Apple TV Plus, and it's called Invasion. Now, I'm not going to, give you any points for guessing what it's about, but it is, about an alien invasion. I don't think I have ever watched a show that is so slow. I mean, it is proper tortoise powered. This show. It's based around. I think it's maybe 4 different groups of characters. Was that right, Lee? Is there 4 of them? I think it's 4. Yeah, let's say 4. England, Japan, and then a couple. Afghanistan, 4. And then America. 4. Yeah.
So there's 3 in War of the Worlds. So you've got 1 extra set of people in this. So
yeah. So very very similar, I think. And obviously there's stuff happening that's really sort of completely out of whack. But all communications are going down. So they kind of can't talk with each other, so nobody really knows what's going on. Everything's just gone completely crazy. And it's been really good, very very good at digging really deep into characters, like loads of really deep character work. And I think I got to episode 8 where all of a sudden it just exploded into one of the most tense, insane episodes I've ever watched for 30 minutes. Wouldn't you say, Lee, that episode?
It's a fantastic episode, yeah.
Yeah.
In the farmhouse.
Yeah, in the farmhouse. You effectively, at this, all of a sudden they just go, we're going to show you what these invaders are a bit like. And it's so tense. It turns into almost a horror, doesn't it? Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. But it's one of those things, me and Lee were talking about this earlier on today, that Apple TV Plus is one of those services that doesn't have a huge amount on there. But every single show that's on there has got amazing actors, fantastic writers, brilliant directors, and there's nothing I've watched on there so far that I haven't gone, loved that. It's all been top quality.
You know why? It's because Apple have got more money than God.
There is that. Yeah, there is that.
I was going to actually talk to you about this offline, Craig. While you're on it, Apple TV, you know you were saying you were loving For All Mankind.
Yeah,
and you say how great it is. Do you know why it's so good? Do you know why it's so good? Because almost everyone who wrote it and created it made Battlestar Galactica.
Yes,
that's why it's so good.
And Star Trek as well. There's loads of Star Trek writers, wasn't there?
Loads of the people who made Battlestar were pulled up from Star
What is this
Trek.
For All Mankind? I've not heard of this.
I want to watch it. I haven't got Apple. It's like one I really want to watch.
Do you want to tell Lee? You explain For All
Is it
Mankind.
on Apple TV? Then there's no point telling me because I don't have it and I'm not subscribing.
You would love it. It's an alternate
I'm sure I
history.
would.
From the it's from the space race back in the 60s.
Have mentioned this.
Yeah.
Right,
It's fantastic, and I cannot wait for season 3. So
I'll probably never get to see it unless Apple TV sells on DVD.
It is good.
Yeah.
Like the whole idea of the Soviet Union winning the space race, they get to the moon before the US. But I just thought it was really good. Just
Ron
like
Moore,
an
man.
alternative version
Ron
of
Moore,
what happened. I just thought it was brilliant.
I think Kimmy's also mentioned something, I guess, on a slow, and The Burn apparently is I think she's saying is very, very slow.
Hold on,
that
that rings a bell. Why does that ring a bell?
Yeah, I'm not slow
I
burn.
can't know what it is. Well, I'm sure I've seen The Burn, but I can't think what it is.
Anyway, so but that's. I just wanted to kind of recommend that to people. I'm nearly at the end of the season. I know Lee really enjoyed it, and I'm really, really into it. So get a free trial, or it's $4.99 to subscribe for a month. There's so much good stuff on Apple TV Plus. It's well worth it to watch.
The Burn is holiday accommodation and retreat in the Scottish Highlands.
Oh, brilliant!
Oh yeah, cool, right? Yeah. I can see why Kim.
That's quite slow.
I can see why Kimmy went to that. To be fair, totally.
So
and another game I just wanted to talk about. I've played it very, very briefly. Now, I listen to the IGN UK podcast. It's a great podcast, so if anyone's listening, it's well worth tuning into it. They're just a great bunch of lads that kind of talk rubbish like we do, really. And they've been talking ages and ages about Windjammers 2. Windjammers 2, Windjammers was like a arcade game from Japan. Really, really popular in France, like massively popular. It had loads of like leagues and stuff like that. And they actually, a French studio called .emu have completely kind of reworked it and relaunched it as Windjammers 2. And I played it once and I was like, I went against a computer, just got absolutely annihilated for 2 rounds, didn't know what the hell I was doing and just put it away. Was playing with a friend, Angry Starks, on Xbox the other night, and he mentioned it. He said, I've been playing it, it's fantastic. And I was like, I can't get it. He goes, look, jump on, I'll teach you how to play it. Within 1 round of playing with him and him telling me actually what the buttons were, because it's very arcade game type, it doesn't really have much of a tutorial, and it's over so quickly you don't know what's happening. Once you get your head around it, it's like a crossover between a fighting game and a sports game. If you ever played the old Virtua Tennis from Sega, it's like playing that, but with like super abilities where like flames come out of you and stuff like that. And it is an absolutely quality game to play, and it's on Game Pass. I would highly recommend downloading it. I don't even think it's a gig, but definitely play against a friend rather than play against the computer, because the computer are ridiculously hard, even on the easy mode. I just got annihilated straight away. But have any of you guys tried it yet?
No, I didn't even existed, to be quite honest with you.
No, I don't even
Windjammers 2. Do it. If anyone wants to download it and have a game, and I'll just tell you what the buttons are and how it works.
Windjammers 1 to get what's going on in the story.
Oh, yeah, the story's quite complicated,
For some reason, I've got it. Windjammers. I don't know, some 80s tune going through my head. It just seems to fit. But I'll download it. I'll have a go.
Great stuff.
Windjammers.
So you got it.
Cool.
Thanks, Chris.
Yeah, we're in. Yeah.
Love it. So, so Kimmy's just put something else up actually on that. She's just put, I hear it's like Rocket League in that it's fun to play, tricky to master. I would agree, definitely. Yeah.
I'm shit at Rocket League.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not too good at that either. But moving on to our main point for the day, because obviously we have Lee's spot. Yeah, Lee's spot. Where the other guys just kind of drift off. No, but I'm sure there'll be bits to input definitely from you guys, because I obviously value your opinions.
Project Zomboid.
So basically, as we all know, as you can see from the title, so Sony purchased Bungie, which was obviously a pretty big deal just after the Activision acquisition by Microsoft. So they picked it up for $3.6 billion.
Look, we can buy stuff too.
Yes, yeah.
Wow.
So
we haven't got
Bungie,
as much money in our bank account. What can we afford?
Bungie are a Washington-based studio. They've got about 900 employees. So it's by no means a small studio, but 3.6 billion seems like a huge amount of money for a studio that effectively does one game. But they've worked on the Destiny franchise. The Destiny franchise. Well, yeah, no, that is you're right. You are right there. So they worked on the Destiny franchise since they departed Microsoft back in 2007, where they kind of signed off the rights to Halo and left it with Microsoft to go off and do their own thing. They obviously worked with Activision for quite a while. They then left Activision to go out on their own. This is to join Sony. It almost seems like they're running away from Microsoft everywhere. So let's see if Microsoft can come off to
tell them
Sony
off
now.
or something. Did he give them a reprimand and tell them
Maybe
they
he
couldn't
did.
have any dinner? And they've been running ever since.
Well, I bet you Phil is a bit narked about this because Phil Spencer, old P3, he plays a lot of Destiny 2. He's a big fan. But yeah, just wanted to kind of break down, a bit of what's been going on and kind of get the opinion of Mr. Lee here, because you play an awful lot of Destiny 2. Would you say you're an addict, mate?
There's people who are addicted to like crack cocaine, and then there's me.
Yeah,
I guess, but yeah.
fall in the same box.
Yeah. Maybe the box above.
So I mean, that's the first question I wanted to ask. So, what does it mean for the future of Destiny 2? Because obviously Bungie are no doubt one of the most talented studios out there. Made some absolutely incredible games, but I think over the life of both probably Destiny and Destiny 2, they've had a pretty tenuous relationship with their fan base. I think that's a bit of a tame way to put it.
The least,
Yeah. I guess. With this acquisition from Sony coming on board, having the might of them behind them, they're no longer an independent studio. Do you think Sony are going to be able to help with the kind of commercial side of things and maybe get the fans back on side?
I think that they're...
What's funny about that, Alan?
Because Sony are so good at PR. They really know how to treat their customer base. I mean, we constantly say it about Sony. Sorry, Lee, but we constantly say how good Sony are at looking out for their customers and making sure that their customers come first. I mean, they're just the right people, obviously. I mean, who couldn't be better? Sorry, Lee, over to you.
It is a match made in heaven. Bungie are one of the most anti-consumer publishers you can find. And what I think personally... that it's irrelevant to the future of Destiny 2. Destiny 2's future's been set since, I think it was 6 months before Beyond Light came out. They released their timetable of what they were going to do with DLCs. It's Beyond Light, and then it was Witch Queen, which is coming out later this month. You've got Lightfall, which was due to come out September this year, but I imagine is going to get pushed until September 2023. And then you've got the final shape in 2024. Now, why a 4-year-old game has got another 4 years being added to it, I do not know. Okay, it's beyond me. This game has been desperate for a refresh for so long, and their version of refreshing it is to delete content from the game that you've already paid for, and then sunset things like weapons and locations, so you can't use them anymore. And then bring them back in another DLC that you pay for. It is shocking.
That's terrible.
In Witch Queen, we're getting weapon crafting, which means all the weapons that come before it aren't part of it. So you have to get all these new weapons. But here's the thing, the new weapons are weapons from year one.
Really?
They're bringing back weapons from year one. They're bringing back
That's terrible.
weapons, right? I'll tell you what, they've run out of foundries for things that make guns. But I'll tell you what would be good if they had them back. Factions.
Yeah.
But they got rid of them because they couldn't think of a good story to do or make factions rallies good.
Yeah.
So like, we don't know what to do with this, so we'll just delete it out of the game. And then they've signed up with Sony, and it's just, and Sony have got their idea that they're going to make 10 games as a service. They're going to make 10 games before, is it 2026? And they want to use Bungie's expertise because they've got they've got so much expertise at making games as a service.
Well, they can make them.
They can't. They can barely make them. Every single release
No,
has been
yeah,
delayed.
but
they
hold on,
delay
hold on.
every release.
Yeah, but hold on, Lee.
Activision were like, please leave. They begged them to leave.
Lee,
You are supposed to be making 2 more games. We've given you $500 million. Leave.
Lee, I'm just to point this out, right? For all this shouting and screaming about it, are you going to be there day one on the Witch Queen going, Destiny?
No, but this is my point. Sony want Bungie's expertise at delivering these games as a service, but the only reason that they're successful at making these games is because of idiots like me still play it.
Yeah.
And there's this dedicated fan base of players who don't mind being shit on every single release and being in a.
I mean, if that's your kink, more power to you.
It's like being in an abusive relationship. You just keep coming back. If you've got any sense, you wouldn't play the game.
But
nothing. It's just ridiculous.
But don't you think this is also not
3.6 billion?
But don't you think this is a problem with the MMO Lite or the games as a service? This is an inherent problem with all of them. So I'm a Division player, you know this, and that has the complete opposite problem where they just went, "We'll abandon it," and you're just like, "No, like I invested time in this. Don't just leave. Go done, done." I mean, at least they'll continue it. But I think your point. I do think that, as you said, their model of sunsetting and removing content is grade A bullshit. Like,
it's almost criminal.
Yeah, if we get a Division,
fraud.
because there's a new Division 2 expansion coming at some point in the near future, and if they do that and go, "Oh, we're taking away this," I mean, they could probably take away Keenly College. You don't want to give too much of a shit because it's kind of crap and no one plays it, and it was a waste of a DLC anyway. But like, if they took out, like, say they took out New York, said, "Oh, you can't have Warlords of New York if we give you this," you'd be like, "Come again? What?" Like,
yeah, but that's not Destiny's thing. Destiny's thing is they'll take away New York, and then they'll bring back a map from Division 1.
Yeah.
And then 2 years later,
sell you back New York.
That map from New York.
Selling to you again.
And charge you
Selling
again.
to you, yeah.
And charge you again.
I tell you,
It's
I mean, but if I just took that one map away, I think there'd be hell in the Division.
Boys, I think that's why they're worth 3.6 billion.
Yeah,
to
to be
keep
fair.
reselling us the same stuff over and over again.
Because they've got mugs who'll buy anything they put a Destiny label
that's
on.
the thing. This is what I mean. It's like Sony have bought them for their expertise at like making all this money from games as a service. But it's only because they've got a die-hard fan base that are constantly waiting for the game that they think they're going to get. We're constantly waiting for the Destiny that the potential's there for this game to be the best game. They've had 7 years.
Yeah.
Like, is it going to come? I doubt it. I doubt it.
But that's the thing. So, I mean, I would class myself as quite a light Destiny player, and that was still my most played game of the entire Xbox generation.
The way you play Destiny is the right way to play it, though.
Kind of dip away
this
from it, come
seasonal
back, and
model's stupid. Like,
yeah,
being like, you feel like you've got to play every week, and it's like having another job.
yeah.
It's just not the right way to play. I don't think it's the right way to play games. I think you should be able to put a game down and play something else and come back to it and pick it up and play it at your own pace.
It should be one of these things that gives you content to play if you want to play it. But like, if you want to mainline it and just do nothing but that, there should be content there to play. But by the same token, it shouldn't. I hate games that force you into this dilemma, like you're saying, where you've got to play it or you'll miss out. Like when I was hardcore in the Division 2, like when the seasons rolled around, the problem was, like, for someone who hardcores, there's not enough content, and for someone who's real casual, there's too much content sometimes, and you can't keep up. And it's like there's got to be a healthy balance there, surely.
But I think that this has to be measured at the end of the day, because we're blaming companies for providing, like the example you're giving there, Chris. You're saying, you keep going back and you have to keep going back every week because of the season pass and things like that. But at the same time, it's like you don't have to have this stuff. You don't have to play. You're saying a dedicated fan base.
No.
Yeah? No, a dedicated group of people who don't know any freaking better.
We're not
Called
dedicated.
junkies.
Who, exactly.
Yes.
Who keep believing something is going to happen, which doesn't happen. They keep complaining about the fact that the
That's
game
it, hit
they
me
want is
harder.
not being delivered, and then go and buy the next freaking DLC
hold on.
and repeat the process. And it's the same with all of these season
I've got the
passes.
annual
They
pass
do the
pre-ordered
same
for next
thing.
year.
But if I don't have the purple cod piece, I won't look cool with the rest of my mates. What am I going to do? I've got to
Mate, your
play
mates don't
every
play the game
day.
anymore. Stop playing.
And it's not the company that's at fault. It's the people that are playing it at the end.
All right, Alan, thanks. Thanks, mate. Me and Lee here come on the
You
attack.
need to control yourself. I'm not. Just gotta
Control
stop.
yourself. I'm back to Project Zomboid.
Yeah, I was going to say, says Captain Project Zomboid over here.
I'm not buying DLC for it though.
That's only because it's not available.
Well,
Yeah.
listen,
It's
Yeah.
only because the rest of the
I
game
get.
gets deleted, and then the only
Yeah.
thing you've left to play is the DLC.
No, I think it is a different kettle of fish, and it's a different argument because something like Project Zomboid is a game in alpha. So I'm effective. For some people, would argue that I'm effectively paying for the developers to test their game, and the game isn't even finished, and it won't be finished for God knows how long. So they keep changing stuff and adding content, and they go, people go, "Oh, we've finally got animals in the game," and it's like. Yeah, it should have had that at the beginning. It's like so, it's a different argument,
Game-
but I'm just as stupid in the sense
Yeah,
of that.
games as a service games, from a business perspective, it's a fantastic model because it makes money. And there's a reason why, EA dropped their Anthem. You got the Avengers, both of them absolutely flopped
Because people
hard,
are
but they put them
idiots.
out there because they know if they can get a hit, they're going to make a load of money. Because I think I'm sure you told me this figure once, Lee. The amount of money that Destiny or Bungie make just purely off Destiny a month or something. It was a numbers figure.
Bungie made, I think it was 2019, so I think it was the same year that Shadowkeep came out. They made $600 million in a year
One game. It's
from
mad.
one game.
That's
But
7
here's
years
the-
old or whatever.
No, but
Yeah,
here's the thing.
Rockstar are laughing at that.
Well, but
No, but here's the,
600 million.
that's the thing. So how long did that take to make? How much did it cost them to make that? Destiny 2, when Shadowkeep released, was a map from Destiny 1,
yeah.
some story DLC, some repurposed bosses.
Yeah.
They made $600 million.
And wasn't Destiny 2 the other one? They basically resold Destiny 1 with story and dumbed down mechanics. And everyone moans they just re-released a patch to make it better mechanics again, like Destiny 1. So essentially just resold you Destiny 1 with a mini campaign.
That's the
And
thing.
then added
They took all
the
of
stuff from
Destiny
Destiny 1.
So you have Destiny 1. Destiny 1 builds up all this time. They eventually get it to a point where mechanically and like all the
Yeah.
systems within the game, everyone loves them. Destiny 2 comes out. They got rid of nearly all of them. They pared it completely down. They used to be random
Yeah.
rolled weapons that you could re-roll to get the roll you wanted
Yeah.
using materials you could farm in game. New game comes out. Every gun is a fixed roll.
Yeah.
It's
Oh, mate,
RNG when you get the gun.
It's why I stopped playing it. To be
And everyone hates it, right? Personally, it was my favourite time of Destiny, but whatever. So the next, they bring back random rolls, but then people don't like PvP because there's too many shotguns. Well, you can't have both ways. You can't whinge about double primary and then whinge about secondary. But it's like the Destiny community is its own worst enemy.
Yeah, that's right, Kimmy. It
Kimmy,
is.
trust me,
Lee-
I'm fully aware I have a problem. I'm
Lee's
fully aware I have a
admitting
problem
it,
with
but still
Division.
carries on. I think there's a question I would like to ask on this, and the question is, and we've already established that Bungie are a bunch of gunts, and essentially they're defrauding their customer base by selling them the same stuff that they've deleted, which should be illegal. But
crazy
however,
that is.
on a bigger scale. What do you think, Lee, about the purchase itself? Is this a good purchase for Sony?
For
And
Sony,
how is this
I
going
think-
to benefit Sony from purchasing them?
For Sony, this is on a scale of Disney buying Star Wars, Disney buying Marvel.
Right.
Because
That's big.
Sony are starved of IP. Let's face it, they've got Spider-Man.
I said
They
this
want-
last week and I got jumped on.
Well, no,
I
you
got-
said
I
they
got
had poor
beaten
games.
down.
You said they had poor
I
games.
said
Their
that- I
IP
said
is
they
strong.
didn't- I said
And then
they
you
didn't
changed-
have,
you
I said
clarified.
they
Yeah,
didn't
you said
have a
that.
lot of IPs compared to what the catalogue of Microsoft is now. I'm sorry, I look at Sony and they're all multi-platform games apart from maybe four or five
I
top
think,
tier
yeah.
titles.
I think you're right.
Well,
that the IP is the amount of IP is weak.
when
The
I
IP
say
itself
it, when
is
I'm
strong.
talking about this for IP, I don't even mean Destiny the game. Destiny as a franchise as an IP that they can use in multimedia is massive.
Well, I'm going to read.
The
Let me
amount
read
of
a quick.
depth of story and everything is crazy.
Yeah,
that
let
they
me read a
produce.
quick statement out that actually kind of leads really well onto this, actually. So, Bungie's chief executive and chairman, Pete Parsons, said that both Bungie and Sony Interactive Entertainment believe the game worlds are only beginning of what our IP will become. Our original universes have immense potential, and with Sony's support, we will propel Bungie into becoming a global multimedia entertainment company dedicated to delivering our creative vision. That ties really well to, that's exactly what you're saying, isn't it, I think?
Yeah.
I think Sony have bought Star Wars for $3 billion. is essentially the depth of what the story that they can get from Destiny is.
So does that mean we'll see different titles in the same universe coming from
I
other
think so. I
developments?
think you've got the possibility that they can have different studios make different types of games. You could
Yeah.
have a MOBA of Destiny. You could have a chess tactic game of it. But going away from that, just the stories. You've got this
Are we going to see a Cade 6
futuristic
TV
space
show?
opera, or you've got a post-apocalyptic medieval.
Caden. Is it Caden? Or is it
Cade 6, isn't it?
K6, yeah, K6.
Cade 6
There's
TV show?
storylines in-
A la the
in Destiny's
Mandalorian?
lore that are
And,
just
and
crazy.
another thought that I was
Let
thinking.
Lee talk, man. Come on.
Sorry.
We brought him on
That's
here.
all right. That's all right.
Sorry, what you go on? You were saying about the.
Well, it's just you can go from. So you're fighting some aliens that are borderline gods that are going through the cosmos, killing everything because it's their belief that the only thing that should be left is the final shape. So the only way to survive as a thing is to kill everything else. But then you can go back to when the darkness first destroyed Earth. So we first had like the fall, and you've got the remnants of humanity who are just trying to survive in this post-apocalyptic wasteland. It's almost like medieval times, it's like the Dark Ages. And then all of a sudden, people can live they're immortal, and they've got these special abilities. So then they become warlords, and they'll have their own little fiefdom. But then groups of these risen will come together and form little groups to take on the really bad warlords. So you end
He's
up
loving
like
this. Look at him. He's
it's
loving
almost
this.
like it's
I
almost
love
like,
it.
It's like Seven Samurai or like Magnificent Seven.
Yeah.
Where there's one story where it's Zavala, not Zavala, it's Shaxx and Fellwinter team up to protect Shaxx's castle from this invading force of Risen, and it's just that's cool. They can make a TV show, films, comic books out of that, but then they've got this futuristic space opera that's going on around in.
It does
all
strike
these
me, like you
different
say, is
planets.
there's
It's-
so much breadth for stuff they
It's
could do with it.
crazy.
I always
And
thought the
they
live
bought-
action Destiny stuff for the adverts looked mega, and I was hoping we'd
That's
see
what they
more of it.
bought.
To be
They
fair,
don't give a monkeys about the game because, quite frankly, Bungie tweeted out the other day, big $1 million. They've sold 1 million pre-orders of Witch Queen. Minimum, that's $40 million. Maximum, 120. $120 million.
But this is
for
the other
year.
thing I was thinking.
It's
So
nothing.
does this give like Sony more bargaining power? Well, again, we're talking about acquisitions of company that have IPs that have primarily been cross-platform. And we've just had a massive acquisition by Microsoft with a lot of IPs where people are going, Call of Duty, is that going to become exclusive to Microsoft now? There's all this concern about exclusivity. And now we're now talking, does this now give Sony a bargaining chip that says, hey Microsoft, if you want to start talking about making something like Call of Duty exclusive, then we might make Destiny exclusive. So why don't we come to an agreement where we keep this title cross-platform and we keep our title cross-platform? Do you think this gives Sony that extra bargaining chip by this purchase?
Well, they came out in their what do they call them, press releases, and they said that the game, like categorically, Destiny 2 will still be cross-platform. There will be no exclusivity. It's going to stay as it is. It's because essentially Bungie are staying as a
independent
their own
publisher, aren't they?
publisher. They're not beholden. They've got full creative control. They can do whatever they want. They can publish wherever they want. But that doesn't mean that their next game isn't going to be an exclusive. It doesn't mean Matter's not going to be an exclusive. It doesn't mean Destiny 3, if that ever comes out, is going to be exclusive.
And the Bungie
My
name
money
is huge.
personally, I don't think Bungie will even make the next Destiny game. Personally, I think 10 years is enough of a game. I don't think anyone who works there wants to work on it anymore. I think they're bored of it.
Do you think they might
The
palm it off to
fans
someone
like
else?
Me, we just chat shit about all the work they put in. So they put so much work into this game. But like, let's be fair. They're all working from home and they do a good job. Like it's not like compared to some other shoddy games, it's very good. But at the same time, fuck 'em.
I can just imagine the board meeting where they're doing the handover to the other company, going, right, these are all the assets we've got, and this is what you'll be using to make the new version of Destiny. Excuse me, aren't they all the assets from Destiny 1? Yeah, so we're going to use these to make Destiny 3.
You take the mick, but that's when they were with Activision, High Moon Studios, and Vicarious Visions. They did the majority of the work on DLCs. and like the seasonal, because it was annual content back then. You had like 2 mini DLCs and then the big DLC. And Forsaken, all of the Dreaming City was Vicarious Visions. And
Was it?
arguably, the Dreaming City is one of the best things that's ever been added to Destiny. So it's arguable that some of the best content that's ever been in Destiny was not made by Bungie.
What do their 900 colleagues do?
No, but they didn't have... This is the thing. When they were at Activision, they were only 300 to 400 people.
Right.
They left Activision, they grew to 600. They made all that money the last couple of years, and they were expanding into multimedia. That's why they've now got 900 employees, and they're trying to get like moving into like TV and things like that. So Luke Smith used to be the game director, and he got moved to the head of like the full creative side of the
Head of IP,
bit.
sort of, yeah.
So I think they've been moving to this idea of they want to do movies, they want to do TV shows. Because let's face it, why would you make a game when you can make a film that makes $1 billion? Like,
yeah. No, it's interesting stuff.
If you get Sony to pay
Why
for a
would you?
film and it makes $1 billion and you get half of it, why bother making a game?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
I
I
think
think.
a lot of their devs have had enough. They want to go on to do Matter, or they want to work on something else.
Yeah,
Which is fair enough. You know, you don't want to
Yeah.
work on the same thing for 10 years.
yeah,
And it wouldn't surprise me if they handed Destiny off to another studio. And,
Yeah.
and frankly, it might be better if they did.
I mean, on that sort of sense that you're talking about, Lee. I mean, as you've already admitted, there's an awful lot of idiots like you that will buy every piece of content that Destiny makes, no matter how bad or
I've got all the law
rehashed
books,
it is.
everything, man.
Exactly. So if they make a film, they've already got a complete, viewer base of complete idiots that will go and see it.
I'm going to
So
see it
I mean,
4
it's
times.
a no-brainer.
I'm buying
isn't
it on Blu-ray. I'm buying it on
Yeah.
Apple TV.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Because if you buy, I guarantee you, they release a film, there'll be some skin for something. There'll be a special
I
sparrow.
mean, don't get me wrong, you'll
Shit.
complain about it for ages
I'll
about
get it.
how rubbish it was
Yeah.
and how they reused the same voice actors for the
100%.
film that they did for the game, and you'll be
100%.
absolutely, absolutely.
No, I'll be
you'll still buy
complaining
it,
because the
and you'll
voice
still
actors are
watch it.
different.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because they've changed the voice actors in the game because they can't afford them anymore.
There's no Nathan Fillion.
No,
No,
because they replaced him in the DLC where he dies. He didn't
Oh
even
my
voice the
days.
character.
Oh, I did not know that. Oh my days.
Yeah, it was Nolan North.
Nolan North is doing an impression of Nathan Fillion.
Oh my god, that's
Doesn't
terrible.
Nolan North just do everything now in gaming? Like
pretty
just,
much.
it's like,
Him
yeah,
and Troy
much,
Baker.
Yeah, it's him and Troy Baker, the only voices in
But
gaming.
no,
now,
they replaced. This is the list of characters they've replaced from being like actual voice actors or well-known
Peter Dinklage
actors.
went, didn't he?
Peter Dinklage is gone. Nathan
But
Fillion's
that,
gone.
no, Nathan North did the Ghost as well.
Yep. The person who did the voice of what's her face, Mara Sov, is a different voice actress now. Ikora Ray, has
Who
changed.
was from Firefly? I've forgotten her name.
Yeah, she was the Wash's wife. I can't remember.
Yeah,
her name.
can't remember.
Yeah.
Gina Torres. That's it. Yeah.
yeah. And who's the guy, the guy from John Wick who played on the reception desk? I can never remember his name.
Who plays Zavala?
Mr. Wick. Mr. Wick.
Yeah, well,
Oh,
that guy,
Lance
he's in
Reddick.
it.
Lance Reddick, yeah.
He's in it
He's
as well.
still
Is
in
he
it.
still
He's
in it?
got such a good voice.
They can't replace him. His
No,
voice is too iconic.
nobody could do that voice.
Can't Nolan North do his voice?
Yeah.
But they had
The fallen, the glory of the
Akshagalu
walls
from
of
The
our
Expanse.
city.
So the one who played that. Can't even. Was it like the?
You've run out of characters we know now, Lee.
No, it's the president. Is the president of in the Expanse. You
Oh,
Flora
yes,
Akshagalu,
yeah,
the
yes,
lovely
yes.
voice
The
lady.
Persian actress, she's got
Yeah.
an amazing
Her
voice.
character's been killed off
Yeah.
because they
Yeah.
can't get her anymore.
Yeah.
They've got rid of the 2 factions that had 2 actors playing them, like
Yeah.
well-known actors. They've got rid of. Someone else got replaced. Anna Bray's voice actress got replaced.
Yeah.
But I'm not being funny. That's like 10 characters where they've gone, instead of paying people to keep doing these voices, we're just going to either kill them off or replace them.
Yeah. Get someone,
Because we're
get
either
someone
too
cheaper in.
cheap Or it's just
So
ridiculous.
look at all these great, high street named, big names doing the voices for our game, and then 6 months down the line, you're fired. Now,
Yeah.
you go
That's the
in,
thing.
Nolan, just make it sound like you like him, right?
Nathan
Yeah.
Fillion didn't even know Cade was dying until someone asked him. I was
Wow.
like, I didn't even know about it. They never even
Yeah.
asked me to come back.
Yeah, he really made that character as well. He was a proper fan favourite,
How
wasn't
crazy is that? But he was in all the promotional material
he? Yeah.
for Destiny 2.
Yeah.
And then 1 year later, they kill off his character without him even voicing it. That's Bungie. That's Bungie.
Yeah.
That's what Sony's bought.
Do you know
Sony
what?
love it because it's.
Do you know what? Do you know
Love
what?
it.
I thought it was comparable being a Division fan, but you guys are way more abused than we ever were. Like, honestly, like
Genuinely, there's some shocking stuff that goes on in Destiny. Where if you
mate.
actually take a step back, it's actually like, what is going on here?
no wonder there's some really peeved people when I see comments about it online. I didn't think it was that bad. Jesus, man.
It's bad. It's bad, especially if like you're a big fan of it, like you, because it's one of those things that you sort of get attached to it, don't you?
Totally, yeah.
And then it's like, you know, you put 2,500 hours into something, they just sort of ruin it.
Yeah.
Me and you both know that pain.
I think one other thing I wanted to ask about, because you touched on it, Matter, which is obviously the code name for their next game. This is just a bit of a fun one, really. What do you reckon that is?
I think it's a hero shooter. It's their version of Valorant.
Really? Right.
Yeah, 100%. Whether it's
Yeah.
going to be set in the Destiny universe, I mean, I honestly think they're sick of Destiny, like genuinely, and they're just doing it for the money now.
Yeah.
And there might be a few people who are still there that are still like really loving it, but I think they don't like us. We're the enemy. You know when like you work somewhere and the customers are the enemy
Yeah.
because they're the ones that
No
make
idea
your
what
life
you
hard.
mean.
They're the ones that make your life difficult.
Oh,
They're the
mate.
ones having a go at you on Twitter. They're the ones giving you like sending you death threats. I don't
We
want to
don't
help
like
them. I
you.
don't
Just
wanna make
give us some
everything
money.
good
Just
for
don't
them.
talk to us.
Yeah.
No,
I
good
don't
stuff.
blame them.
No, thanks for bringing that take to us, Lee, because obviously you
That's right.
live and breathe that game, don't you, when it comes to
okay.
gaming? You love it, and so it's good to get your take on it, really, because I don't think any of us could have articulated
I'll be
quite
on it
like
right
that,
after
so.
this.
Of course you will, mate, of course you will. To be fair, I'll be on it when Witch Queen comes out. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to jumping. I always enjoy the DLCs, and they do such a good trailer. Whenever they do a trailer, I'm like, oh, I've got to play that. That looks
I
well
reckon
good.
the new one will be out next week.
Yeah.
That's
up
the
for
thing.
That,
So this is another, I'm going to go off another tangent here.
Go on.
What do you know about Witch Queen?
Not a lot.
It comes out in 2.5 weeks.
Yeah.
It costs £60.
Yeah. It's more
What
shooty,
do you
bang,
know
bang.
about it?
Isn't it 35
What do you know
quid?
about it? It's like 40 quid, I think. But you know, you got to get the annual pass and all that shit with it.
No, no, you
65
don't.
quid. It's 65 quid.
No, you see, Craig, you don't because you're not
Yeah.
in the abusive relationship.
Yeah,
You're just,
Get with it.
you know.
What do you like? You don't know what you get with it, do you?
I guess there'll be another planet, some more guns to shooty bang bang, and some
What
more people
planet
to
do you
shooty
think
bang
it
bang.
is?
Oh, it's probably Mars or something where we've
It
been
is
before.
Mars.
Is it Mars? No,
From Destiny 1.
really?
Yeah, but not all of it. Just a bit of it.
Oh my God, you're kidding
You
me.
can the way he said just a bit of it. You can tell Leah's got to that point where he's like, I know what they're doing to me,
Yeah.
and I hate it, but I can't stop it.
Yeah.
I'm just
You guys
there
talk
for
about
it.
Transmog when it came out.
It's like.
Oh
it's like-
mate, no, I know about Transmog. That was I couldn't
I called
believe that when I saw
I
it.
called how they were going to
Could
do
not
that as soon as
believe
they
that.
announced it.
It's
I said
disgusting.
exactly like
It's
that.
It's like,
disgusting,
a,
mate.
it's like a heroin addict who knows that next needle is going to kill them, and they're still shoving it in their vein.
It feels so good.
And there goes the PG-13 on
Dragon, bro.
YouTube.
Yeah,
I think you cleared that a long time ago, Chris.
yeah, probably.
Yeah, to be
Right.
fair.
Okay. Cool. Thank you for that, Lee. I really appreciate it. So, what we're going to do now is we're going to do a little something that we've not done in a very long time, and
a
we're
quiz.
going to play a game. Yeah.
Okay.
So I was listening again. I know I mentioned them earlier. The IGN UK podcast. I was listening to them the other week, and they play this really great, fun little game that I thought is nice and easy to pick up. There's no preparation required because we kind of do it as we go, and we can all kind of join in. So I think we're all kind of the same on the screen. So you've got me, then Chris, going down to Lee, and then across to Thunderlips. I hope that's all the same. So we'll go round that way. Okay. Now the idea of this game is one person will come up with a film. And so let's say if I come up with, let's say Back to the Future, okay, because Lee brought that up earlier. So I'd say Back to the Future, then Chris would say Michael J. Fox. Then it would go round to Lee. Lee would then have to name a film with Michael J. Fox in it. Then Alan would have to name an actor that was in that next film. So it's going round and round and round. Yeah, so this could be Let's start. When we do it, we'll start
We
off with
have
something.
IMDb open just in case.
No.
We've got to double check everyone's answers though, right?
Well, yeah. To be fair, I probably should double check. Just if we're unsure, we'll have a little look. And I think we can give each other a few seconds to kind of get a head around it until we all kind of call it and that. Just a bit of fun, but it could be a bit of a laugh going around. So I'll start on the first one, and the first one I'll do is The Fifth Element. And round to Chris,
Bruce Willis.
Lee.
Sixth Sense.
Haley Joel Osment.
Who?
He's the kid. He's the kid in The Sixth Sense.
Well, that's me out. No idea. I can't remember what he looked like.
Alan, the assassin there, straight for
He
the kill.
sees dead people.
Yeah, cool. Nice. There we go. All right, Chris, go on. You go for it, mate.
Well, am I going off Haley Jones or start a new?
No.
here?
Start a new one. New film.
Oh, what can we go with? The Usual Suspects.
Benicio del Toro.
Cool.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay.
No, it's an actor, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bradley Cooper.
Limitless.
Robert De Niro.
Heat.
Val Kilmer.
Batman Forever.
Jim Carrey.
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Kate Winslet.
Titanic.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Don't Look Up.
Jennifer Lawrence.
The Hunger Games.
Oh no, Lee might be God.
Woody Harrelson.
Woody Harrelson. Cop?
Cop.
No, he's no. No. My brain has
we call
stopped
it?
functioning. No.
No, never mind. No, that was a good run, boys. That's
Yeah,
a good run.
White Men Can't Jump. Zombieland.
There's so many. Zombieland. Oh,
Yeah.
I can't believe I forgot that one.
Yeah.
Right, go on, Lee. You're first.
Dude. The Dark Knight. Did you
The Dark Knight. Ben Affleck. Oh no!
Failed already.
Old
Epic fail.
Yes. Epic franchise error.
Go on, Alan. Film for me.
Okay, so I am going to go.
Please
with,
don't go too obscure.
Okay. Dark City.
Never seen it.
I told you to watch this last year, Craig.
Yeah, never seen it. Does anyone want to do one from Dark City? Yeah.
Go on,
Richard
Chris.
O'Brien. Richard O'Brien.
Yeah.
Jennifer Connelly was in it. Jennifer Connelly was in it. Wasn't she?
Kiefer Sutherland's in it.
Yeah. If you haven't seen Dark City, that's a real shame. That's a great film. Like a really
You
great
need to
film.
watch it, Craig.
Yeah,
I've told you
really
this many
great
times
film.
before.
I've never seen it anywhere to watch, like any streaming services. Or anything.
Find it. Honestly, find it. It's a great
have to
movie.
buy it.
So underrated. So
Buy the
underrated.
DVD. It's
Get
a
your wallet
fiver.
out.
Buy a DVD.
Just go on
What is this?
iTunes
The year
and buy it.
2000?
Do yourself a favour and buy it. So come on, Craig. Let's
Seriously,
do another
man.
one. Let's do another one. come on.
Right. So you want me to fire up? Yeah. Okay. Aliens.
Michael Bean.
Oh.
Oh, good one.
Sean Connery.
Dr. No.
Ursula Andress.
Oh, God.
Oh, that's a rum one. That is, Lee.
That is the sound of a man
Scooby-Doo.
drowning.
Cool,
To be fair, I could never have gone anywhere if that had been handed to me. That was an evil move on my part. But it was literally the only thought that
who
came
else
into
you
my
go with,
head. Yes.
That was evil.
That was,
don't
man.
go,
I'm
mate.
sorry.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Kimmy's
Yes,
a fan of
Kimmy.
Dark City.
Kimmy, you are right. Dark City is amazing.
It is one
Kimmy
of
is
my-
right.
I'd have to put it up there with my top 5 movies of all time.
It's criminally underrated. Criminally underrated film.
Such a.
I will.
Do you know-
I-
do you know
have to
why? Do you
remind-
know
keep
why?
getting on at me and reminding me.
Do you know why people haven't watched it? And it's true. It came out at a very similar time to The Matrix, and it has a kind of Matrixy vibe to it. But everyone just gravitates to The Matrix so much that they
Totally
completely
different
overlooked
films.
it. And they are totally different films, but I can see why people like dismiss Dark City as just a Matrix clone, and it isn't at all. But like, Dark City is such a great film. Yeah. Anyway, going on. Yeah. So
Right.
Lee, we do another one.
Should we do another one?
Isn't it
Do one
you?
more.
You should
it
go,
me?
Chris.
you,
It's
isn't
me.
it,
It's me. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's
Thinking of a good one.
$3.49 to rent it on Apple.
All
There you
right,
go.
okay.
£3.49 to rent. Well, good
I think
£3.49.
it's
Well
best
spent, that is.
£3.50 you've spent.
I'll do it.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
my
yeah.
homework for next week.
Here we go then. The Mummy.
Brendan Fraser.
The Mummy 2 Return to.
Oh, what? Rachel Weisz.
Oh crap.
You didn't think I was going to get that, did you?
No, I did, but I was saying, do you know what? I'm never going to get anything. But as soon as he said,
Started it!
no, as soon as he said the Mummy 2, right? I went, he's going to say Rachel Weisz, and I've got absolutely nothing if he says Rachel Weisz. I knew exactly where he was going.
Isn't The Rock in The Mummy 2?
No, yeah, he is. Yeah,
No,
he is. Yeah,
He is. He's in it.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Go on, Lee, fire one up. If you want to do it. Yeah, we'll do another couple.
Yeah,
shall
let's do a couple more.
Let's do Independence Day.
Jeff Goldblum.
The Fly.
Oh, Gina. Ah! Oh, no, the name's gone. Oh, no. No.
I know who you're talking about, and I can't think of her name either.
It's got a first name. Can I go say it's just gone? It's gone.
Oh,
Let's
mate,
do
the
this, let's do this.
tall Gina. Gina.
Is it
Yeah.
Gina Davis?
Gina
Yes,
Davis.
that's it. Ah.
That's it. Nice. Go on then, Thunderlips.
I'm going to go with a nice easy one. Lord of the Rings.
Elijah Wood.
No, he's not in that. Oh crap. No, the Two Towers. We'll do that.
I was
then.
just about to say, how are you not getting another one of these films he's
Well, I
been
was
in?
trying to avoid doing that again, but screw it. The Two Towers. There you go.
Viggo Mortensen.
Don't do it, Al. Don't do it, Al.
Do it. Do it.
God,
do it.
Return of the King. It's gotta be I was trying to think of something else, but I couldn't.
I'd have gone History of Violence.
Yeah, that was the one he was in. Yeah.
Orlando Bloom.
Oh,
Kingdom of Heaven.
Liam Neeson.
Oh.
Taken.
Oh.
I've got one for this.
I have a very special.
I
set
can't
of
think
skills.
of. I
His
can't
wife.
think of anyone else.
Think of his wife.
I can't remember the daughter, but I can't remember her name. She was from Lost. I can't remember who the wife was. No, I can't, just got her.
Famke Janssen.
Famke Janssen, yes.
Or Maggie
yeah,
Grace
of course it was.
was the daughter.
Yeah.
Nice.
What was the daughter's name?
Maggie Grace, isn't it?
Is it Maggie Gray? I didn't know her name. I know she was from Lost, wasn't she? Blonde girl. Yeah. Do you want to do another one?
No?
Let's do another. Yeah, that's because I'm quite enjoying this. I'm trying to think of one. Have we got any movies over here? Memento.
Guy Pearce.
LA Confidential.
Kevin Spacey.
Yeah.
Usual Suspects.
Gabriel Byrne.
End of Days.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Had to be.
Terminator.
Bill Paxton.
Twister.
Oh,
Jack Black.
oh, nice.
Boom.
Hold on. Is it Jack Black in that?
No.
It's not. It's
Isn't it?
it's what's his
Philip
name?
Seymour Hoffman.
Philip Seymour Hoffman. Yes.
Philip
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
It's Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yeah,
I've
as soon as-
blown it. You're right. For some reason, yeah.
Yeah, no, I can bet he plays a very Jack Black character, so I
Yeah,
can totally
yeah,
see
right.
it. But yeah,
Yeah.
as soon as you said it, I was like, hold on. Initially, I was like, that's a killer. Then I was
I'm
like,
glad
hold
someone
on.
called that out because I thought it was Jack Black.
Yeah, no, good call. It is, and it's a fantastic. It's Philip Seymour Hoffman. It shows what a great actor he is.
He was a
really
great
was.
actor.
He was amazing.
He killed. Was it the Mission Impossible 3?
Yes.
Bad guy off?
Yes.
So good in that. So good as a bad
Yeah,
guy.
yeah.
I really hated him in that film. Like I was so invested in him as a bad guy.
Yeah, he was a very scary guy. Very scary guy. Who was next?
Me, isn't it, for the next one?
Yeah, go on then.
Yeah. Or Oh, okay, right.
Isn't it funny when somebody asks you to think of a film and you know all these
Yeah.
great films and you suddenly go,
Here we go. Here we go. I got one. Jurassic Park.
Sam Neill.
Oh,
I haven't got a scoot. I don't know anything he's been in.
Jurassic Park 2. Jurassic Park.
He
No,
wasn't.
three.
He
He's in
wasn't.
three.
He was
He's
in
in
three.
two. Yeah.
But I don't know. I believe it.
Oh, fail. Right, should we the last one? Go on, Lee. As you're the guest, you do the last one, and then we'll wind it down.
Back to the Future.
Hey.
Right, Christopher Lloyd.
Oh my God.
Just do it. Just do the. You know what you
Back
gotta
to the
do.
Future 2.
Michael J. Fox.
Go on, Lee.
Mars Attacks.
Oh, yes.
Oh God, Mars Attacks was I forgot. I'm trying to think of his name. He's an amazingly famous actor, and I can't think of him. Oh my God, my brain is
The
dying.
Joker. The Joker.
I know. That's the guy I'm trying to think of, and his name isn't coming into my head.
Here.
No. Nicholson. Jack Nicholson.
Right. Well, that was. I think you had a little bit too much time on that one. Let's be honest.
No. Well, is this you, come on, you can go up with Jack Nicholson.
it.
Maybe.
All right.
Come on, you can go
Okay.
with Jack-
Batman.
Michael Keaton.
What's it? Spider-Man. Oh, I don't even know.
Homecoming.
Homecoming. There
Yep.
you go.
Oh, Spider-Man: Homecoming. Oh my God, I've forgotten the name of Tom Holland.
Spider-Man: Far From Home.
Zendaya.
Oh,
No way
don't.
home.
Benedict Cumberbatch. We're going down an Avengers
Oh,
hole
there
here.
you go.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Doctor Strange.
Oh God. Her name. She's the ancient one, and it's just gone. No.
Matilda.
Tilda Swinton. Tilda Swinton.
I bet you don't know any of the films Tilda Swinton's been in, do you, Lee?
I do. There's the one with the kid who's being difficult in the car. That I've forgotten the name of.
Well, on that fantastic description, I reckon that's probably about time to call it a night because we've we're nearly hit the 2 hour mark.
I
It's
would
been
have to
a
say
really good
though,
stream, actually.
Tilda Swinton, Avengers, Endgame, because they go back in time. And the
Yeah,
goes and
yeah,
speaks
could
to
have gone
her.
straight to that one, yeah.
She's in a film with Bill Murray and what's his name? Adam.
Oh,
Guardians of
you're
Star Wars.
you're
Adam
talking
Driver.
about
Driver.
yeah, it's the zombie
the
one.
zombie
It's the
one.
zombie
Yeah.
one, and I can't remember what it's
That's
called
good.
now.
I like that.
I like
I hate
that
it.
film.
It was the one
Yeah.
you liked, Craig.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
hated
I
it.
like that.
I hated that
Yeah.
movie
I like
so
that.
much.
Anyway, right, that was it for the evening. Well, so thank you very much for tuning in and listening.
Thanks for joining
and
us, Lee.
watching. Yeah, and
No
thank
worries,
you
guys.
very much, Lee,
Thanks
the
for listening
Destiny
to
Lore
Ran.
Master. So that's a bye from Chris.
See ya.
It's a bye from Mr. Thunderlips McQueen.
Ciao.
And it's a bye from Brass Stanners Lee.
Bye bye.
And a bye from me. See you later, guys. Bye.
Bye bye.